Can we lower the volume a little bit, huh? Hey, folks, this is Sham Kinnishin. Hey, didn't you die 10 years ago? Yeah. But the only thing that brings me back from the dead is the vocal minority with Nick and Steve! You understand that, you fucking whore? Oh! Oh! Oh, you fucking dicks.
Due to the adult subject matter of the following program, some listeners may find the content offensive, outrageous, or unsuitable. You know, like religious freaks, uptight losers, or little wussy mama's boys. Please listen responsibly.
You're listening to the Vocal Minority with Nick Reynolds and Steve Harness.
Hot. How much time?
You're on.
I love scotch. I love scotch. Scotchy, scotch, scotch. Here it goes down into my belly. That is good.
You're on the air.
How are you? You look awfully nice tonight. Maybe don't wear a bra next time. How much time till we're on? What?
We're on the air right now.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs, the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve back at it, Alo Brewski, for another exciting episode. Are we 17 today, gentlemen?
Sexy and 17.
Yeah.
My little rock and roll queen.
We're going to be legal in 1 year, one episode, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, put a pin in that discussion. We're going to circle back to that. So. Yes.
Oh, we are. All right. Well, it's the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. We've got a brief pin in it, but we'll get back to that. You can find all our socials on our webpage. It's just the easiest to go there. And then you have the one-stop shop. Head to thevocalminority.net.
It's a phenomenon.
I agree.
So many phenomenons being covered on this show. It should be the vocal phenomenon.
Yeah, maybe we should think about that, dude. That might be a good name change for us.
It's a new one every week.
You got to change your letters in the background there, so that won't work. But yeah, hey, we're back. Yeah, it is show number 17. Heading into the holiday season here, which is why I'm dressed in my festive red and green.
Ah, you
trying
look
to
very
convey
sharp
mountain
today.
vibe.
Yeah, you look
Thank
good,
you.
dude. Yeah.
And speaking of the looks of all of us, I have no idea why all three of us are wearing black rim glasses today.
Because I can't see shit without them.
Yeah. I guess you and I normally do, don't we?
Are you 24 hours a day now, Brewski? All the time, anytime?
Between the two pairs of glasses, yes. I have one pair that I have to wear for driving, but I've even had to wear them during the day for driving now too. Because my eyesight is just going.
It's going, dude. It happens quick. I mean, I've never needed glasses, and I don't need them 100% of the time, but it seems like trying to read the fine print is becoming a bit more difficult as life carries on.
Yeah.
Are we going to discuss the fact that you're wearing women's glasses or no?
I don't know why you say that, dude. Why do you say that?
I don't want to be rude. They're very European, very worldly. They look good on you.
Well, what does that have to do with being a woman, dude?
They look slightly like the glasses my mom wears. That's all.
Your mom's got great taste, dude. These are fucking expensive glasses.
I'm sure they are. They're Italian, right?
They are. I think. What is Burberry, Brewski?
That's British.
All right, they're fucking
even better.
British, dude. Come on.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't want to discuss about it.
I don't see you in glasses ever. So what happened? Contacts fell apart? Not good enough anymore?
I don't wear contacts, dude. It's just for reading. And, my vision has been slipping over the last, it's been kind of slipping over the last year. I usually just put them on when I'm reading, but I'm having issues sitting at the computer for a long time. I find myself needing them more and more. So,
are those like actual, when did you get those prescriptions filled last?
6 months ago, maybe.
Oh, okay. So you got them 6 months ago, but you don't wear them, but now 6 months later, you're like, it's enough already. I need them.
Yeah, I would normally just read it if I was reading a book or if I was reading something that required me to put them on when I'm holding whatever I'm reading 2 feet out to try and adjust to it. But yeah, like I said, over the last couple of months, I've noticed that like I'm needing them more and more, and I don't necessarily need them on the computer. I guess I just don't want to strain my eyes. The longer I'm on the computer doing work, it seems that my head starts to hurt. So I'm doing a little trial here.
Well, there's a sponsorship opportunity here for lens crafters or anyone else. If you would like to outfit the vocal minority in all new glasses, although Nick has brand new Italian frames, but maybe you should try something domestic too, just for
How
variety.
about the Warby Parker folks? I mean, they're always all over all
Booyah.
the stuff for young people and sponsorships.
A great point. Give us a call. We
Yeah,
need
give us a
Phil's
call.
Coffee, Warby Parker, and Kawasaki to give us a call. So let's get on that. As we expand worldwide, we have all sorts of sponsorship opportunities. So, and yeah, I'm sorry your eyes are fading. I have the opposite problem with you guys. I can see up close. I can't see far away, like medium to far. So yeah, like if I have to read stuff, I either have to hold it back because if I get too close, then I can't. It gets blurry on me. I'm gonna
got
need
two pair.
bifocals. That's where I'm heading.
See, dude, and I wondered why didn't they just give me bifocals? Because I always have to take these glasses on and off because, you know, when I look far, everything's freaking blurry. So
Yeah.
why didn't they just put the very bottoms of it, reading glasses, and then the main 70% at top, nothing, you know?
I'll tell you, I haven't got my prescription updated in several years, and I'm due, like overdue. But last time I was in there, the doctor was telling me, like, wait a minute, like you actually don't need them so up close, but your distance is getting, is getting worse. So should we talk about bifocals? And I just told him, like, no. Like I'm too young for bifocals, so let's just move on from that
What
conversation.
am I, Ben Franklin? I mean, come on.
Right. But as
Hey,
soon as I
dude.
got these on, the annoying thing is when I'm playing with my phone, like I have to take them off because it's so close to me, you know?
Bifocals aren't the same anymore. You really can't see the line in them.
I
That's
know.
what they
It's
explained
the
to me.
concept, though.
Well,
I'm
Yeah.
struggling
Get
with
over
my
it, dude.
age of late, let me tell you.
you are? Why? What's
Well,
going on?
The internet's mad at me again. The vocal minority out there is all pissed off at Steve
Oh,
here.
boy.
I've
Well,
spent my
apparently
entire...
they're pissed off with me too, you bastard.
Well, editing. I needed us both to be in the same boat. So, I feel like we've spent our entire lives having people tell us that you're too young for that. You're too young for this. You're too young for that. And now all of a sudden I'm too old for things and I just can't wrap my head around it. And I refuse to accept the premise that people are upset with me over. So,
The only thing you're too old for is teenage women, dude.
she's not a teenager.
She's 20.
She's
Yes.
barely 20, dude.
So what?
She can
That's
buy
just-
beer soon, and
Okay.
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
The only way that anyone under the age of 20 is a teenager, quote unquote, is all those porn sites that say that they have like teenage girls and the way that they get around all that is because the girls are 18 and 19, technically, quote unquote, they're teenagers, but you know what the guys really want is they want them to look like they're under that age.
Well, looking is one thing, but
Okay.
being is another. And if you want this pervy bastard on the other side of the screen to
No,
be
no, no.
your support staff over there, Harness, go for it.
First of all, 2 out of 3, so if Brewski and I
Yeah.
can vote you, then that's a legitimate thing. A couple of things here. First, let's explain to the audience what I'm
He was just
referencing.
attacked. He was just attacked by a father for getting a woman that was too young for him.
No,
dude.
no,
You
but-
want him on your
That was a
support staff?
scam.
That was a scam. There really wasn't
What was the truth of the scam? She
Well,
was
but even if
18?
he was going after an 18-year-old, it's legal. But I'm not even. First of all, I'm not going after an 18-year-old. Secondly, she's 20. Third, you bring a very good point up about porn there, Brewski. How many of you check the ID of the women on the porn you're watching? I bet a lot
Yeah.
of them are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. You don't care because as long as they're legal to be on the film, who cares?
It's not true, dude. That's
don't-
the only reason I watch GILF porn exclusively. It's the
Oh,
only reason I
please.
do.
hot granny sex?
Please listen. I do watch MILF porn because I like to be relatable with my porn, but I've watched plenty of porn where
wait a
I'm
minute, wait a minute.
quite sure they're 18, 19, 20. Who cares?
Now, are we talking like 60 and 70 years old?
No, I mean MILF is my age, like 40s,
Oh.
somewhere around that age.
There's
I
So
think it's
plenty
not
of
gonna-
grannies that are your age,
I thought-
though, dude.
Well, I'm
Well,
50,
maybe.
I'm 51, and I think we're talking about
Yeah,
the
we're all
good
the
stuff.
same age.
The good stuff when they start to get to like 60, 70 years old. That's when it really gets good.
I know you're into that, and that's all fair and fine. And I like how you balance your scale. You're hitting on an 18-year-old one day and a 70-year-old the next day. That shows me your equal opportunity. That makes it even
Ageism
less
is
creepy.
not in his vocabulary.
Right. All right. So here's what we're talking about. I posted a clip online last week on the show. We were talking about the Wednesday Addams dance. and the fact that I thought it was quite sexy. And by the way, dancing is by almost definition supposed to be sexy. I mean, what unsexy dancing is there? It all is supposed to convey sensuality.
Have you ever seen Footloose? God, get your head out of your
The
ass.
Lambada.
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dirty
come on.
Dancing.
It's
Nobody
the-
puts harness in a corner. I'll tell you that.
Right.
That's for
Dancing is the language of love. So anyway, so I, this whole Wednesday Addams thing is just blowing up on the interweb. And since we talked about it last week, I went ahead and just pulled that clip and threw it up on all the social media sites to see, if we could get in on the trending topic stuff. And yes, I was saying that the actress in it, who is 20 years old, not that even matters. I know she's an adult. That's all that really matters. That she was sexy as fuck, that it was a really sexy dance she was doing. I never said I wanted to bang her, by the way. I never said I wanted to date her. I never said, I want to have sex with this woman. I just said, damn, it's an awkward dance, but it's really kind of sexy. And the interweb is blowing up at me.
Well, they're blowing up at you because you can't say, God damn, that baby does such a sexy dance. I don't want to have sex with it. But
She's
it's
an
sexy.
adult.
Barely.
Listen. If I Googled her and it turned out she was 16 or 17, I would feel like a perv and I would have deleted the whole thing. But she is of age. And I mean, at what point is an adult where I'm allowed to say somebody is sexy? That what they're doing is sexy.
There's a cutoff, dude. When you're nearing a 50-year-old man, I would say that's around
Stop
30,
it.
dude.
That's double standard.
Yeah,
Well, you're asking a question. You don't want the answer?
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, what does
It's
my
a
age
bullshit
have to
answer.
do with it? First of all, I'm insanely immature. But secondly, I'm a human being with two eyes. I'm not allowed to say an adult woman is sexy.
You're allowed. People will just judge you, dude, as a
Well, that's
fucking
true,
chomo.
But it's not. I am not. First of all, I'm not, obviously, but I have asked everyone on the social media pages that has been poking at me, basically that question, at what point is an adult an adult and I'm allowed to say they're sexy? Nobody has had an answer because when you think about it logically, there is no answer to that.
There is an answer, and I'll tell it to you. I just said it. If they're 18, you're allowed to say it. Will you be judged for it? Sure, but you're allowed to say it.
Listen, first of all, I started off the whole clip saying hey, maybe this is pervy of me. So I was being open and honest about it. And I told several people, okay, you're voting perv. That's fair. That's your vote. But yeah, I didn't say, God, I want to bang that chick. I want to see her naked. I want to just said, damn, that dance is sexy as fuck. And it is, by the way.
Do you want to bang her? Do you want to see her naked? Would you click on the link that had her naked?
Well, again, no, I'm not, romancing on her. I'm not fantasizing about her. However, when I watch porn, I don't think a second about if she's 18, 20, 25. She's just on film and I'm looking at her. They're adults or they wouldn't be allowed to be on film. So, yeah. Sexy.
Solid question, dude. I mean, they're allowed, lawfully, they're allowed to be on film at 18, but there's all kinds of underage girls that aren't showing their ID. A solid question, and with a truthful answer, please, Steven.
Yes. What?
Have you ever been watching porn and thought, she looks a little young, and turned it off?
No. Because I've never seen someone who looks so oh boy, she has to be 15 or something. That'd be gross. No, every woman I've ever seen seems to be an adult. That's all.
Okay, I've got someone for you to Google and tell me what you think. Now, I think this chick is hot, and so her name is Piper Perry, Perri.
Am I going to get a disease or a virus from this?
No, I don't think so.
Piper, how do you spell her last name?
Perri. And then just go to Google image searches.
Am I going to
My
get
computer's
arrested
about
for
to
this?
explode.
No, she's completely legal.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Are you setting me up? Is this woman of legal age?
No, she really,
I mean,
she
she's
really
an attractive woman. I see her with a bunch of black men, so I'm assuming they all checked her ID.
She's wearing braces.
Yeah, but a lot of people get braces beyond being a teenager.
Sure.
Right, but these are.
What's your point with Piper Perry?
Obviously showing.
But she looks young. She's
Okay.
27. She's 27 years old.
Okay. Thank you for making my point. You can't judge a book by its cover.
That's what I'm saying.
They're adults on porn sites, so I don't really care if they're 18 or 38 or whatever it is. And as far as an actress, you're telling me I am so old now that a Hollywood starlet who's an adult, I'm not allowed to look at her and go, hey, that's a sexy woman right there.
You are, dude. You're allowed to do that. Lawfully, you're allowed to do that. You may come off
But
as
why
a
am I
fucking
being
perv,
judged
dude.
for it?
Well, why do they judge
God.
me for being fat, dude? I don't have all the answers. I just know we live in a
Well.
judgmental world.
I'm not trying to solve the internet's negativity problem out there. I just don't understand why. I seriously was not expecting that result. And by the way, I mean, let me just read some of the comments here because I find it humorous. One person said on our YouTube page, understandable, but the age difference makes it creepy. And I replied, like, okay, you're voting perv, but like at what point, as an adult, can I say another adult sexy? No response.
But
Another
it's
person
just
said,
they pointed out the age difference makes it pervy. I mean,
but
they're not
again, like,
saying she can't be sexy.
when we were having the dating discussion where I was talking about could I date a 28-year-old, like that I understand a little more judgment because I'm talking about going after a real human in my neighborhood. I'm not talking about stalking whoever this actress is. I'm just saying that dance is awkward and it's sexy as fuck. That is my observation. Like, why is that pervy?
So here, I have a question.
Yeah.
So would this person that would say the age difference makes it pervy, would they say that a young guy who was getting excited about an older woman because their age difference was pervy?
Right. Every time I've told the story about when I was 19 banging a 35-year-old, no one ever called me a pervert.
No.
They high-fived me. They thought I was the man. Like,
Exactly.
what a hypocritical double standard we have going on.
Absolutely.
This other guy said, I don't think the age difference is what makes this pervy. And I responded, well, what does then? And I got no response. Like, what does that mean? I had Twitter. Boy, Twitter got pissed off at me this morning. I don't know what these people.
It's a cesspool. You know that.
Oh, let's see. Nah. Here's a woman. She was really upset with me. Nah, y'all. She said y'all. Y'all's not a word, but okay. Nah, y'all got a goblin in a dungeon on the pod, brah. Stay away from them kids. The temptation might take over. This woman is not a goddamn kid. Like, it's insulting to this actress to be calling her a kid. And maybe on the Wednesday show, she's portraying a high school kid. I don't know. I haven't watched the show. But we all know that everyone cast to play a high schooler is always a 20-something.
Yeah.
Take it in with your firstborn. I mean, if somebody was making comments about your firstborn when they just turned 18, and you're going to be thinking, what a fucking pervy old fucker, dude.
No, he won't.
If they're looking at my Facebook page and saying that, then yeah, that's pervy. If my firstborn is putting herself out there on the silver screen in entertainment, pictures, movies, videos, then obviously, yeah, people are going to comment on her looks. Like,
and you
don't put yourself out there.
Or weird when an old man says that they're fucking. She's so fucking hot.
Listen, I must have a weird line because if an old man is saying, I want to bang that girl, then okay, that's a little pervy. But if they're just saying, wow, she's really sexy. Well, look at that dance. That's sexy. No, that's what she was doing. That's what the dance was. It was supposed to be sexy.
2 years, dude.
Well, Nick, you also have to be consistent. You can't get all up in arms because it's quote unquote your kid. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
You're going to be okay with someone else's kid being called hot and sexy. You have to be okay with someone saying that about your kid too.
That's my point, dude. That's my point. Would you be okay with that? Because
absolutely. Yes, I am because I'm being consistent.
I was asking Steve. He's the only one that has a 16-year-old, soon to be 17-year-old kid. So I'm trying to ask him his opinion.
And she's in the entertainment business. She wants to go on a Broadway. So if she gets cast in Chicago, or Kinky Boots, where she's dressed up in sexy attire and dance. That's what the role is. So if someone says, wow, she's sexy, I would say, well, you're doing the job right. Somebody said you're sexy. This Wednesday Addams dance is meant to be awkward and sexy. There was one guy on here who basically just said, oh, here it is. I don't know what TBF stands for. Can someone Google that for me?
To be frank.
Okay, so he says, to be frank, they aren't wrong. Thank you, whoever you are, because you're right. I'm not wrong. It's a sexy dance.
Why is he being frank
if I was 20,
about it?
To be frank, he's saying, because all these people are ripping on me, and he's like, well, to be frank, to be honest, he's right. It is a sexy.
It is pervy, but he's actually absolutely right. I mean,
no, if I was 22, could I say that she was sexy?
Yes.
Well, then, so what does my age matter?
What's the difference?
I'm not trying to bang this actress. I'm just commenting on the dance. And dancing is supposed to be sexy. I think it's just a room full of hypocrites out there. Somebody does a sexy performance. I commented on it, and the only problem is that I'm, quote, too old to be commenting on it.
Well,
Do I
what's
look
the
46?
definition of sexy? Sexy means you want to have sex with her, right?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, otherwise,
Arousing.
otherwise it's pretty. I mean, she's pretty.
No.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah. No, I don't agree with that. I think you can convey, exude sexuality, sexiness, attractiveness, and me not sit there and go, I want to fuck you. Like, there's a big difference there.
Yep.
Wow.
I never said, if I said, oh, man, I want to bang her, then I would agree. Okay, now I'm getting a little pervy. This is, a woman too young for me. This is the whole thing we have been talking about on the show, like appropriate age dating gaps. So, yeah, 20 is way too young. I get it. But she's an adult. It's not illegal. She's an actress on the silver screen, clearly dancing in a provocative way. So I just don't get why I'm a perv for simply pointing that out. And quite frankly, complimenting her on her performance for exuding that.
You'll have to keep wondering, dude. But obviously people disagree with you. So, I mean, you'll have to keep thinking about it if it's that important to you. Otherwise, just let it go.
So, Steve, I will invoke our friend of the show, Doug Stanhope, yet again, and mention something that he said about performing on college campuses, which is that when you go to a college campus, more times than not, there's a bunch of kids sitting in the back of the hall, holding a magic marker and a sign, waiting for you to say something that they're going to be offended by to protest.
Sure.
And that's exactly what the internet and Twitter and exactly is they're the kids in the back of the hall waiting for you to say something that they can protest and write their protest sign with their magic marker.
Totally get it, and I hope these people try to cancel us because we could use the promotion. And I get that what we're doing here on the show offends people and pushes buttons and all that. And obviously, tons of people liked the video. As always, it's the negative Nellies that comment. The people that like it, are obviously agreeing with you. So I get it, and it was on various platforms. And for some reason, Twitter and YouTube got pissed at us. TikTok, no one said a damn word about it. So probably because TikTok skews younger, and they look at themselves as being adults. And they don't think that that's weird. So I don't know. Where's everyone protesting the Beatles and Kip Winger and the Stray Cats? Sexy at 17. She's only 17. She's 17, and you know what I mean.
Daddy says,
yeah, but that's 17. I'm talking about somebody who's of legal age.
But it was a different time.
Rick James had that song too. 17 years old. She was only 17, but she was sexy.
And that's all pervy, is my point, because you're talking about a minor. Like, we have lines in the society. When you turn 18, you're eligible for certain things. When you turn 21, 25, whatever it is, like, it's like when I turned 21 and I went to buy beer for the first time and somebody carded me and they looked at it, they go, oh, you're just barely 21. Like, yeah, but I'm fucking 21. Sell me my goddamn beer. This woman's an adult. So when she's 25, can I say she's sexy? 28? Like, at what point am I not a pervert anymore to simply just say that she's exuding sexuality in a dance? Nicholas, what's the age?
I don't know, dude.
Is it 28? Is my dating parameters?
I'm telling you, I'm not saying that I completely disagree with you. I'm picking up for the people that do disagree with you and say that they are the majority of people. The majority of people are going. All right, Brewski,
it's not the majority. You don't.
Wait,
hold on. Do you think the majority of people out there would agree with that that's pervy?
Yes, dude. I think, and I'm including myself in that if I said it, they're going to think I'm pervy. Which apparently I did say that, but I'm saying that
because I edited you that way.
We're older guys, dude, and especially women are gonna say that's fucking pervy. Especially fathers of young women are gonna say that that's pervy. It's just a fact. I don't know. I don't agree with it. Brewski's already jerking off, and I don't know what you want with me, dude.
No, you're right. You're right. Listen,
what do you want from me?
You know what
you to do? Feel better about myself.
No, don't. But you don't have to worry about feeling better about yourself. Just tell these people to fuck off and then get bent and not get all bent out of shape over stupid shit like this. You're not jerking off to this girl. She's not 15 years old or anything like that. She's over 20 years old. No matter what she's playing, And maybe this is a little projection on their part.
Wow, thank you so much. Because I said that to one guy. He was like, "Your room must reek of cum socks." And like, first of all, so what if it does? Like, who cares if I'm masturbating? I'm not masturbating to this woman, but if I was, it still wouldn't be wrong. But I said to him, I'm like, you seem to be projecting a little bit. Is there something you want to tell me? And silence at that point. So
because it's always the like when you ever hear the Republicans that are always start bitching about groomers and shit like that, and they're the ones that are getting busted for child porn and shit like that because they're projecting. That's why.
Right. Yes. No, I think that's fair. And Nick, obviously, yes, people they're going to say whatever they want to say, and some dads may be offended by it. But again, if your daughter's out there doing that, then why is it the audience's fault for commenting on it? So I don't know. I just did not expect the verbal attacks that I got.
Well,
and yeah, you did kind of agree with me, which is why I edited it that way. I was trying to get the clip under 60 seconds, and you said it was,
dude.
No, I mean, that is the reason I had to do it, because I couldn't get it under 60. And
Agreed.
you said that it was just like the Pulp Fiction dance, which that was sexy as hell.
I
So I
didn't say
just
it
took
was
out the
just like the Pulp Fiction dance. I said it had that same vibe to it. And
Right.
then I went on to say, I love that Pulp Fiction dance.
You said the Pulp Fiction dance
Yes.
was sexy.
Yes,
Okay.
it was.
And you said that it was similar to the Wednesday dance. Therefore,
Similar.
by proxy, you're endorsing what I said.
Listen, Uma Thurman gave me a boner when I watched her dance. Wednesday Addams, whoever plays her, did not give me a boner when I watched her dance. Two different
Why not?
dances. Why?
I mean, for the record, it doesn't literally give me a boner either, but I just
You
can
could get
tell
there,
it's a
though.
sexy dance.
You could get there. I mean,
I mean, honestly, she's not my type. I'm not into the goth girl type. If she was the blonde-haired, girl next door type, maybe, but
And honestly, Brewski, to answer your question, I mean, the dance that Uma Thurman did in Pulp Fiction, I mean, it was sexy, dude. And this one, like I mentioned to Steve, was somewhat robotic and clumsy. And I understand that's the point of it, but it just, I didn't find it sexy.
Because you prefer more of that natural flowing sort of
Yes.
dance and that sort of thing. I get that.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
that's all good and fair for sure.
She's a beautiful girl, dude. I mean, there's no slicing that in a different way. She's beautiful.
I would love, she'll never come on the show, obviously, but I would love to ask her, like, do you consider yourself a child? Do you consider if a guy in his 40s says that was sexy, am I some pervert? I would be willing to bet she would say no, because she feels she's an adult.
I would be willing to bet half of that is right. I would be willing to bet that she would say, yeah, I'm an adult, dude. I'm an adult. Do you
If
think
she's
it's
not coming on the
pervy
show,
that-
that's that.
But if you asked her, do you think it's pervy that a 46-year-old man, looks at you and says, damn, she's sexy? That she would think that's pervy.
I think if she saw me, she'd be okay with it. I may be 46, but I play 36, and it's all about casting what you look like, right? So,
She totally wants you. She definitely wants you. I can tell.
well, I'm not interested, but I do think that her dance was sexy. That's my point. No, I'm not joking. Like, there may be some 20-year-old actress you can show me pictures. I go, yeah, she's hot. I do her, but. Again, these are fantasy scenarios we're talking about. Somehow this crossed over to the real world where people think I'm actually going to go try to bang this lady or something. Like, I just don't get it.
In some sort of stalker kind of way.
Right. So, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, as always, I find it fun when the interweb gets all pissed off at me.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to share the blame with you guys. That's why I'm trying to edit you into my.
Do it. I'm all for it. Put me in there.
You say that now. Wait till you see
No.
what he includes you into, Brewski.
Do it. I don't care. Do it.
Challenge
Wow.
accepted. I'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
I take on all comers.
Yeah. I saw a movie last night called that, actually.
I have never in my career edited someone to say something that they didn't actually say.
You were agreeing with me by
Oh.
proxy and made a good little end to the video to have my compadre join in. That's all. These 60-second thresholds, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. Oh, really, Nick?
Yeah.
You've never edited somebody to
I'm
say something?
sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Never have I
Never
done
once.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Never
Master
once.
of it. So.
Oh, I used to do that so many times at KJR.
Oh, please.
I got in trouble because I did that to a female coworker, a female broadcast. She was on a different show, but she also was on the Sonics games and also the Storm games. And
Listen, Nick has a master's degree in editing people out of context. I was not
You're
editing
right.
you out of context. I mean, I was abridging it to make a point.
Yes, I understand.
So that's all.
I
And to
understand.
the
I
audience
trust
out there,
you,
yes,
dude.
go look at our social media stuff and feel free to chime in on that. The full discussion I actually did clarify more. Like, maybe this is a little pervy, like she's young, I get it. But I'm just saying, like, the dance is supposed to be weird and awkward, but I find it sexy, and a bunch of people seem to agree with me, so I can't be
Well-
completely wrong.
Thanks, Steve.
This
Well,
whole age thing, though, I just don't understand this, gentleman. Like, when did we get to the point where people are now telling us we're too old for shit? I missed the sweet spot where we were the right age for everything.
well, but the other
30.
part about the age thing too, Steve, is you look at the song that she's dancing to, which is "Goo Goo Muck" by
Yeah,
the Cramps.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so how long ago did that song come out? And so
Long time ago. And
Yeah,
by the
you
way,
know-
30 is too young. You can't run for president at 30.
1981 to be exact, actually.
Ah, so there you go.
So in
So
other
where's the
words,
sweet spot? 35? I don't know. Yes, Mercy, what
That's
do
a fact.
you- yeah. And again, though, like, when I was 19 banging a 35-year-old, somehow that was not pervy. But if you flip the script around, all of a sudden it is. So.
Dude, why are you surprised by that? It's always been that way. There's always been a double standard for guys to be able to, I can't wait to fuck a teacher, but then when a female teacher, or when a male teacher fucks a girl, that you're like, oh my God.
well, unless it was like the whole Mary Kay Letourneau thing. Now that was an extreme case.
Listen, I have said before on the radio that if a male high school teacher was banging my 16-year-old daughter, I would go murder him. If my 16-year-old son was banging the 30-year-old teacher, I'd high-five him. I get it. It's hypocrisy. I'm being honest about that hypocrisy, at least, okay? But again, we're not actually talking about my kids. Like, I'm an adult. This actress is an adult. She's doing a real thing put out there for the entire world to see. This is not me going to the high school play and commenting on this.
We got it.
So
dude.
it
I
is a
think
little
you're okay.
different.
You're all right.
Everyone's an
Steve.
adult in this discussion. That's
Yeah,
my point.
exactly. It's not like Steve's pulling a Jared Fogle and saying, "Hey, come on over so I can show you my foot long."
Yeah, you're okay. Steve.
Jared from Subway, chasing those 14-year-olds around.
Right. That would be a whole different thing now, wouldn't it? Which was my point with the Beatles and Kip Winger and the Stray Cats. Like,
Are
Yeah, I
you a sex offender?
Actually, he's in prison. I believe he is, right?
and honestly, the age of consent is actually lower than 18 in a lot of states. Not that I've been researching this. I'm just saying.
It's also legal to fuck cows in certain states, though, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, if this is what you're gauging.
Oh, those cows are sluts. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, you just got us banned again, Steve. You and your potty mouth. Welcome to the program, Mrs. Arnest. I mean, I hope she's listening today, dude.
Yeah, Mom, if you are listening, you got to stop because we're going to be having a discussion on another topic in a few minutes. You just
that
don't
one's
need
not going to
to
be
hear.
so fun. So
Right. Everyone's consenting there, although there is a 10-year age gap on this discussion, too. So,
Oh boy.
in my dating world.
Oh.
let's move into
So,
that
anyways.
dating world, dude. I'm excited to see how this past date went, how you're feeling about life in general.
Well, first of all, I am more out of it today on this show than I think I have ever been, aside from the drunk shows we have done before. I am
You mean when you were
I'm
vomiting from my Jello shots?
Yeah. I mean, we used to do on New Year's Eve, we would do these drunken countdown year in review shows on the Vocal Minority, and we'd do drinking games, and throughout each, by the time the 4-hour show was over, we were just shit-faced, and I ended up in the hospital on several occasions, quite frankly. But yeah, no, today I'm sleep deprived. I've got an infection going in my head and throat, so it's messing with my internal chemistry a little bit. But
That
well,
sounds
I guess we'll get to that
unbelievable.
part of the story. As we mentioned on the previous show, I was having date number 4 with the Valley Girl, and I had planned an evening of debauchery.
Hey,
and,
dude, before I'm sorry. I'm
yes.
sorry to interrupt.
Go
you.
ahead.
Before, I
Please.
just wanted to find out. They had something on the news this morning. These Zoom feeds are being what do they call that when people bomb in? They've been hacked. and
Zoom
people,
bomb or
bomb.
whatever.
Yeah. Do you have us locked down? We're all locked down. No one's gonna get in this.
I have no idea. I mean, it's password protected, but they almost all Zoom things are.
Okay.
Usually somebody has shared, like some corporation uses the same password all the time, and it gets out there. Otherwise, you got to truly hack in to get into this feed. But if someone wants to join us, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're locked down. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is this a legitimate fear? You're worried the Russians are going to take over the show?
I just hope people don't drop in and try and take the show over. Yeah, they were doing a story about it. So please go ahead with your story. I just want to make sure.
I see. I feel like I'm being set up for something here, but
You're not,
Yeah,
dude.
that's what it smells like too.
right? That was a random
Just a
mention.
question. Jeez.
Yeah,
Just asking questions. I was just asking questions too, and apparently I'm a big chomo, so I don't know.
Yes.
yeah. I don't know, Nick. You've got something planned. I can tell.
Brewski.
How dare you? Is Conan O'Brien joining us? Because he was
I
doing
see-
that a lot during the pandemic. He was Zoom bombing.
I see steam coming out of your ears.
Oh, dude, I'm just asking. I was just asking. Please.
Uh-huh.
His Mad Men cigarette he's smoking in his studio there.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, anyways, no, I had said on the last show that I had planned a night of fun. We were going to get some drinks and we were going to stay in the harness house here and just have a night of partying like rock stars. And whew, I got to tell you guys, mission accomplished. One of
You did
the, I would say one of the top 5 experiences of my life. Maybe even top 3. Yeah, I'll go top 5 just to be
Did
safe.
you fuck those titties?
What?
Whoa, who's bombing
Wow.
Jeez, dude.
in? That
I
voice
thought you
sounded
had a-
very young. Did you check the age? Whoever voiced
Yeah.
that for you?
thought
I know
you
they're
had it
playing
locked up,
older.
dude. That was
Gee.
completely inappropriate.
The only thing
That wasn't
inappropriate is where Harness finished 3 out of 4 times.
Oh my
if you know
God.
what I mean.
Did you lock this
Oh.
down, dude? Or
I thought I
what?
did, but you know, that person doesn't sound very Russian to me, so that's weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's
Bizarre.
hope they're gone.
Das Vidanya. But so we went to my favorite bar in town. The owner was there, so I felt like a rock star. I walk in, hey Steve, here's the owner. Look, see, people know me in this town.
The
Remember last week I wore my
Tahoe.
right. I'm famous in Lake Tahoe, so you know. And we listen. I don't want to go too far into details here or anything, but we had a couple of rounds there at my favorite bar, a couple of cocktails, and came home, and yeah, fucking partied like rock stars, man. I told Nick Brewski at one point I felt like Jim Morrison, just standing there with a bottle of tequila in one hand, just buck naked, like taking shots out of the bottle. Like, I mean, it was fucking epic. I've told you guys before, my trip to Mexico was just a sex, drugs, rock and roll trip. I felt like it was all condensed into this last Friday night. It was a phenomenal evening that went on for hours.
It's a phenomenon.
What is for Arnis? I mean, it sounds like it's been happening as of late.
Is this like a Pat O'Brien situation? Get some coke and a hooker and
Something
Yeah.
like that. There was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I mean, my
Okay.
drug is pot. I was taking a few hits here and there, but
nice.
I mean, we
Did she
started off with
partake?
2 rounds. No, she did not. She has a job that drug tests, so she's
Oh.
trying to, avoid that.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, a couple of rounds at the bar, and then we ended up drinking half of a bottle of tequila, and it was not a little bottle of tequila. I mean, it was a pretty nice sized bottle.
It was a leader, dude. I mean, you guys
Did you-
destroyed that.
Yeah.
Did you spend some money on a good bottle?
I thought so. I mean, I didn't. You guys told me no go top shelf, but it wasn't Jose Cuervo. It was somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean,
As long as it didn't come in a plastic bottle with a jug with a handle on the side, then I think you might be okay.
no, I went a little classier than that.
From
Nice.
the picture you showed me, it looked like a white tequila. Am I correct?
Oh, nice.
No,
okay.
that company does make the Blanco, but this was, I don't even know what it's called. It had the yellow tinge to it or whatever.
Okay.
so.
All right.
um,
And you've poured about more than half that liter was gone. So you
Yeah.
guys partied it up pretty good.
But we started off with shot glasses, but then at one point I just brought the bottle upstairs and literally like I would just take a brief intermission and like tap out for a second and go chug a, double fist in this bottle and taking chugs and then jumping back in bed again. And I mean, you guys joked last time about, sexual marathons. Nick said, well, our last marathon I ran was over 3 hours. And I'm pretty sure I ran a sexual marathon that night.
Really?
Oh, this went on for several hours. I mean, there were some little lulls, but not super long. I was taking breathers, and I was just wound up, and she was willing and able and having a lot of fun. So yeah, I mean, almost every trick I had. I did not open the drawer of toys.
Nothing at all? Was she tied up at
Yeah.
any point?
No. I mean,
Okay.
no. I felt date 4 was probably a little too premature for that. Although I
Too
will
early.
Yeah, I will say at one point I had that drawer open and I forgot that it was open, and I came back in the room and she was sitting right there. She had to have seen the drawer. And she didn't go running while I was out of the room. So
Some
that's
50
good
Shades
sign.
of Grey thing. She got maybe excited by it for date number 5.
Yeah.
Who knows?
She threw out a few suggestions. Like, you can do that if you want. You can try this if you want. I'm like, oh, all right.
Oh,
right,
really? So
nice.
she's open to
She was very
experimenting.
adventurous and
Good.
fun. And, there was an important life lesson that I learned on this past Friday night that, I've told you guys, my ex, the best, maybe the only healthy part of our relationship was we had an amazing sex life.
Sure.
And I kind of thought, like, I'm never going to find somebody like that again who's open sexually and who can do certain tricks that no woman's ever done for me before. Valley Girl replicated every trick the ex ever pulled on me. So I was like, okay,
Wow.
apparently there is someone else out there that's capable of taking me all the way and, doing other fun things. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, we went until 2 or 3 in the morning, and yeah, it was a phenomenal night.
Good.
Now on the flip side,
Oh boy.
before I get into the downside of this, anyone have any questions, comments, concerns so far?
No, I mean, I'm glad you had a good time. She seemed to have a good time too. You weren't holding her against her will.
No, I mean, she had said at one point that, I was a little hesitant about tonight, the whole, like, coming to the guy's house and him serving me alcohol and stuff. But she was like, I have had so much fun. Like, this has just been pure fun. She said at one point, and I'm not trying to brag here or anything, but, quote, I have never had so many orgasms in one session in my life.
Well, that's a good thing.
She said she
Here's-
lost
and
count.
I thought about. Say again. You
said
what?
she lost count. Like, normally, if I give a woman one orgasm, I check that off the list, mission accomplished. Now I can just do what I need to do, and anything else is a bonus, right? But I always want to make sure they have one. 2 is like, whoa, really? You came twice? But we're talking double digits, I do believe.
Now listen to this, Steve, and I
Yes.
ask this with sincerity
Yes,
because I have to play devil's advocate here.
Sure.
Not trying to pop you up a little bit. You think there was no lying going on there to make
No.
you feel better?
No.
Well, why do you jump to no? Have you thought about it?
Because I can feel it. You can feel the vibe. You can feel the swell. You can feel the release. Now, she's not part of your most recent phenomenon. There was no squirting going on for actual proof. But no, I mean, you can tell. And by the way, if someone's going to fake it, they're only going to fake it once. They're not going to fake it 15 times. That would just be pandering. So no, I have total faith. And quite frankly, gentlemen, I put a lot of work into this, art of mine. So I've got techniques that have been field tested. And when you start to hear the same reviews from multiple people, you start to realize, like, oh, man, maybe I am pretty good at this thing. So yeah, I have faith.
Okay.
Now, the only downside, yeah,
You think double digits, huh?
I do, yes.
All right.
Something about losing track at 15 was a quote I seem to remember.
Wow.
So, yeah. My previous record was 8, by the way. And that was with the 35-year-old, like way back in the day. So
Previous record was 8.
8.
All right.
And that was a night where the 35-year-old and I, similar thing. We were just in for the night. We had some booze. We had some pot. I was just like, let's see how many we can click off your list for the night. Like, let me see how many times I can make you pop one off. And, yeah, it was 8 with her. So, yeah. So I think I've set a new record.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I do appreciate that.
Champion.
Yes. Now, the only downside, per se, is the fact that I beat the ever-loving hell out of myself, like in ways that I have never been beaten before.
What do you mean, dude?
Well, first of all, I was chafed from up and down. The entire
Sure.
length of my shaft was just rug burned, basically.
Well, you don't have any lube laying around?
I do, and I'm a big fan of lube. Lube makes
Then-
the world go round.
Then why didn't you use it?
Oh, I did. I used plenty. That just shows you how much was going on there for hours at a time. That even
Steve,
though thoroughly lubed up, I still the next day was like, oh my gosh.
Steve, might I suggest that you go and invest in a set of rubber sheets?
Yeah. I definitely need to clean my sheets. That's for sure.
Listen, your Uncle Brewski's been there. And I've always, had at least something like that just because you never know when you might need it. And especially in this case here, you can go overboard with the lube and not have to worry about making a mess all over the place.
Spray it
Tremendous
everywhere.
play by Brewski.
I need one of those super squirters, like super soaker things.
Yeah.
Hose the bed down, man.
No, seriously, you can get a rubber sheet to put on
Wow.
your bed. Yeah.
Do you have one?
All right.
Currently, no, but I have had several in the past.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I try to put a good mattress, protector underneath the sheets because things tend to soak through or whatever.
That's not gonna work.
Really?
clean bed for this champion.
I told you with Jen, we had to put at least 2, sometimes 3 towels underneath her until I invested in the rubber sheet with her.
Wow. Well, that was for
Yeah.
squirting, though, right?
Oh, but that, and also for other things too, lube and all that. And she kind of wanted to experience a few things that she didn't have a lot of experience with, but I did.
Are we talking about Arnell?
Masterclass.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you need that protection? Were there accidents?
Well, sometimes, yeah, but you got to be careful. You got to.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember one time with my ex, we were doing that. She's like, "Don't look down. Don't look down. Oh my gosh, don't look down."
Oh no. Well, yeah. Well, there's that part of it, but sometimes other things happen. Urine.
Let's speak frankly here. Why are we?
Sure.
What?
Sometimes there might be a little bit of blood. It happens.
Oh, okay.
Just by happenstance. You're not talking about like cutting or something like
No.
that.
Now that's another thing entirely. I dated a chick that was really into blade play. This was years ago.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Yeah. And she used to rip the hell out of my arms with her fingernails to the point where it was like leave raised cuts on my arms, and my arms would just be bleeding like crazy. And she'd wipe it off and lick it off her fingers.
Ooh, wow, that's hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she was very hardcore. Yeah.
I've had, and probably more so my ex, the most recent one, she was into a little bit of pain, giving it, but also getting it, but also giving it to me. Like, she would love to bite me during sex. Like, she would just latch onto my chest. And there was one time we were just starting, just getting in the bedroom, and she just bites me, and I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like, it has to be pleasure and pain, not just pain. We got to be doing stuff. Don't just bite me. What the hell's wrong?
I think we know where that came from, dude.
Do we? Deep down inside somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, heavily chafed. Another sensation that I've literally never experienced this. I don't quite know how to describe this. My pubic bone hurts. And that's not a play on words. Like, your pubic bone ends above, right where your pubes would be, I guess, right? Like, we're talking skeletally inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was so much just bumping that it's all sore and bruised. Like, this.
It's bruised?
Yeah. Like, dude, I sent you that eggplant emoji telling you, like, this is what I look like right now. Purple and swollen all over the place. Like.
Yeah, I set things down, man.
Response to that, dude.
What was your response? Thanks for the visual,
dude. No, how do you think she feels? I mean, if you're hurting, she's really got to be fucking hurting, dude.
Yeah, Nick did tell me at one point, leave the poor lady alone already.
Well, but let's just remember that the vagina is an amazing appendage.
Right.
I mean,
he's a human out of there. So
exactly, it is resilient beyond resilient.
Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt though.
Like whenever someone says "don't be a pussy," I mean, considering how tough a vagina is, I think that's something you would want to be.
It's like a catcher's mitt. It could take a lot of abuse from a 100-mile fastball. So
yeah.
I did ask her at one point that night, Nick, like, are we? Is this a little too much? And she kind of jokingly said, like, maybe a little tender tomorrow. But I followed up with her, and she has not, she's not pointed that out. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case for sure.
Did you ice up, son?
I've been using some creams to try to get back in shape.
No. I'm talking like for an ice pack. Put an ice pack on it. It'll feel a lot better. It really will.
Ooh, I don't know. I'll give that a try, maybe. So we'll
see.
Will? What are we talking about here?
Well, the tender bruisingness going on here.
We're icing up our junk. What are you guys doing?
I'm like a professional athlete, man. I just went out and played the goddamn World Series all 7 games in a row in one night. So, yeah, I need a little ice bath afterwards.
Jeez.
Come on, Nicky. You've never had to ice up after something like that?
No, dude. No. Fuck. I haven't had to ice up, dude.
I never have either.
Up. I haven't had any of that happen, dude.
Interesting.
This pubic bone tenderness, I have never experienced this before. I've had all sorts of good vigorous sex, but I think the fact that it went on for hours is what
Sure.
that tenderness came from. And then today I discovered a whole other problem.
Uh-oh.
What kind of problem, dude?
Well, I went to bed. I went to bed. It's a good problem to have, and trust me, I'm not.
It is?
Well, I'm proud of how I have the problem. Yeah. So no regrets here. No remorse. No regrets. Like Metallica. So yeah, Brewski, last night I went to bed and I could just feel a little scratching in my throat, like I'm starting to get sick or something.
Okay.
I woke up at like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. My throat, I mean, I could barely swallow. It still is. It is so fucking sore.
Yeah.
So everyone I know is getting sick right now. I mean, there's this triple pandemic thing going on, and everyone's just got runny noses and coughs. So I've been taking like airborne, and I've been aware of the fact that there's a lot of sickness going around. So when I got up, I was actually up almost all last night. That's why I'm so out of it today. I've been up and down since 1 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, my throat was just killing me. My lips were all dried and cracked. And so I called the doctor this morning. It was like, Christmas is coming. Like, let me come in. I think I have strep throat or something. So I go into my doctor today. I do a COVID test. It's negative. I do a flu test. It's negative. I do a strep throat test. It's negative. The doctor tells me you have a bacterial infection in your throat.
Oh.
And
I
I'm
should
like,
have listened to Crosby.
What?
you bastard. We want to talk about crossing inappropriate boundaries. Like, this is
Testing?
such a hypocrite. Such a hypocrite, I tell you. So anyways, the doctor starts asking me, like, what have you been exposed to of late that could cause a bacterial infection in your throat?
Vagina.
Yeah, a whole lot of it. I did a lot of muff diving that night.
Vagina.
Yeah, and my snorkel apparently didn't protect me very well. Listen, the female anatomy, there's a lot of bacteria and thing going on down there, and quite frankly, I revisited it a few times throughout the evening after we had been going vigorously, after we had both had to take bathroom breaks because we're chugging tequila. Like, things at that point in the night weren't perfectly sanitary down there. And it's just natural bacteria. It's all good. I mean, it's
just what bacteria?
It's natural bacteria. All women have bacteria down there. But when you start throwing you in there and lube in there and you run into the bathroom and not shower it, like, there's bacteria that's just naturally occurring.
We're not talking about the roast beef being spoiled or anything like that.
Exactly. It's not an STD, nothing like that. It's the natural bacteria that I consumed a whole lot of it that night.
Are we talking about urine here? I don't understand.
Yes, I'm not talking about feces, but we broke the seal. We were drinking heavily, so both of us a few times during this marathon ran to the bathroom to pee real quick and then came back. Yeah, so I don't know if you're familiar with female anatomy, but you can get around there a little bit. So you mix that in with her own natural chemistry, with lube, with my friction, and whatever bacteria I have on my junk that has been. Her mouth and my
damn.
And Steve's underwear,
right?
Yeah, let's just keep talking about it, please.
This is hours worth of a special cocktail that was brewing down there, and then I go diving face first in, and took a day or two, but enough bacteria had accumulated in my throat that I now have a bacterial infection.
There's a harness stew, is what he's saying.
Yes. Nothing anyone should be ashamed of, embarrassed about, or anything else. Quite frankly, like I said, I'm proud of the fact that we could whip up such a night of
bacterial infection.
All worth it. Absolutely. 100% worth it.
All I got to do is gargle a little salt water for a day or two, and if it doesn't go away, I've got a penicillin prescription standing by.
How about
advanced antibiotics?
Some tea with lemon and honey,
Yes. Exactly. It's like I'm warming up for an opera.
Yeah.
Just got to gargle a little. She gargled a little, so it's all.
Yeah.
Sounds like a beautiful love story, dude.
You got to party like Pavarotti.
Right. I'm pretty sure the next Hallmark Christmas movie will feature a scene just like this.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Listen, I would much rather have this than to me be saying again, like, well, I lasted 30 seconds and fell asleep, so it was fun.
Sure.
Like, no, like I put in a Herculean effort, rocked her world, and like all athletes, you may walk away a little sore and tender for a few days, and that's just part of the job.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the job done 15 times.
We're proud of you.
Well, you should be.
I'm proud of you.
Steve, I'm
talking about being Thank you. This whole
I'm
I'm too
very
old
proud of you.
shit. 46-year-old guys can do that without giving themselves an aneurysm or heart attack. So
Yeah.
boo to the fucking yeah, I say. So yeah, I channeled my Jim Morrison for a night, partied like a goddamn rock star, and I feel very accomplished and very good about it all. That's all the Christmas I could want.
Where do we go from here?
Oh, and by the way, we also had a bunch of like really nice, intimate conversations, and she bought me a present. You know, I was telling you guys I didn't think anyone was going to buy me a gift this year. She bought me a gift wrapped in Spider-Man wrapping paper.
Oh,
I mean,
very nice.
Again, very nice woman. You know, has been nothing but sweet and nice to me.
And she's paying attention to what you're saying
Yeah.
and what you're sharing with her because of the different things that she's doing.
Exactly.
And you can't ask for much more than that, really. Because I mean,
Right.
because more times than not, women don't give a damn about anything you have to say.
Absolutely correct. So, I was joking with Nick the other day that I'm sure I'll be married by New Year's Eve. That was obviously. I don't even know. I listen, in all seriousness, because I know everyone in my goddamn life is worried about this. I was getting a rash of shit from Emily this weekend. That slow down. Like, God forbid you be happy.
Well, the people who love you most in this world.
Yes, and I understand everyone's concern. I really do. Everyone saw me get just bent over hard by my ex, so I get it. However, it's a different game. You know, 3 years ago, I was looking for a wife. I was looking to put my family back together, and that window is now past. So now I feel like every other weekend I have free. Why not have a nice person to go play around with? And it doesn't all need to be Jim Morrison, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Like, but that was how I wanted to celebrate the holidays.
Well, here's a question: does she meet the requirement that Crosby has shared with you?
No.
Well, yes and no. You know, my son was worried that I would date someone that's got a 13-year-old son like him and that they wouldn't be buddies. She does have a child, but her child is in second grade, so there's a big age gap there. So
yeah,
I don't think he'd be concerned about that at all.
No.
And again, I'm not moving anyone in. I'm not,
No.
you know, I'm just, hey, I've got limited windows in my life free right now, and I'm looking for someone to spend those times with. And you know, we text back and forth during the days, and she's friendly and cares about me and asks questions about my day and stuff. Like, there's a nice little void being filled here, and that's all good. Having said that, I haven't given up on the top three yet. I haven't given up on other dates. I'm still on Hinge, so my lure is still in the water.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that because so I'm still on a few of these apps, and I've had two experiences recently, and both not so super as well as I had hoped they were going to be.
Okay.
And so one of them, the first one, this is a quick and easy one. This chick, she's into metal and she's into a lot of stuff. I thought she was really cool. And it turns out all she was looking for was somebody that might want to come by and have some fun so that she might have some more money to buy her kid Christmas presents.
Oh,
she's a hooker.
She was prostituting, basically, or just saying, like, come on by, but then leave me a little tip.
Exactly. There's that there. And so then...
Is there a difference?
No, but
In
I'm
a court
not,
of law, yeah.
but my whole problem was like, I thought she was really interested in me. And then I'm just like, oh, so that's what this is, you know? And then the one that
Did she have reasonable rates? I mean, what was her idea of a tip?
Motel sex?
She didn't. Well, as soon as she mentioned that, I just unmatched because I was just like, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm going into this trying to find somebody to date, and this is not what I'm looking for.
Well, that's good. See, you're sticking by what you need.
And then the second one, so I was on Bumble, and I happened to find a woman on there who I worked with over 25 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At a toy store in Boston at FAO Schwartz. And she was an art student.
What kind of toy store?
No. But she was an art student in Boston. And I was probably about a couple of years older than her. So I was 24. She was 21. And I had a huge crush on her. And I was just like, I couldn't believe I saw her on there. And when she matched with me and said hello, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. This is amazing. and she doesn't live far from me and that sort of thing. And I kind of followed her career from afar because she's a noted children's book illustrator.
I think they call that stalking, but yes, go ahead.
No.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's a fine line between curiosity and stalking. I get it. Trust me. It's fine.
There's nothing wrong with stalking if they don't know you're doing it.
Right.
Just remember that.
Exactly.
So anyway, so we're kind of having some conversation and that sort of thing. And then, the messages started to get longer and longer in between when she was responding.
Yeah.
And just, and I remembered more about her than she did about me. And so it kind of felt a little one-sided. And I get that I have a really good memory and I'll remember shit that no way people will say, you can't remember that, but
You're
do.
a champion, so yes.
But so finally I had to kind of cut the cord because she just didn't seem interested. And I just said, hey, listen, it's been great.
What do you think that was about? Was she never really interested, or do you think somewhere in the conversation she lost interest?
But nothing. But the conversation was really innocuous. I mean, it was always me asking good questions about how what was going on in your life, and then we shared our what went on in our backgrounds since we last saw each other. And then she seemed to like some of the nice things that I remembered about her. I didn't mention the fact that I remember that she also used to dance at a strip club in Boston, and then I walked her to work several times to the strip club after we left the toy store. I didn't mention.
What was she working at a toy store for if she's stripping at night? Be making more money on stage than selling toys.
Well,
dude.
No, she had just started stripping at this particular place, and this particular place wasn't. It was like one of those really old joints, like so a lot of people. It wasn't like big spenders were going in there and stuff like that,
Right. Dollar dances.
So anyway,
it just drifted away on you.
Yeah, and when you're going 4 days, and when I suggest to you about us going to this particular art museum in Boston and walking around and enjoying the day, like just kind of looking at some art and having a good conversation and that sort of thing, and I know that's something you're into, and you don't get back to me and say, yes, I'm interested. No, I'm not interested. Well, I just kind of get the feeling you're not interested. So that was a bit of a disappointment.
It's fucked up. I got 100 scenarios like that have happened just in these last, 5 months of you're talking, then they drift away or fade away or just stop. I was just a couple of weeks ago talking with a woman who, she said, like, I only want to date guys in Nevada. I'm like, Nevada's like 4 miles that way. But she's like, no, you're not in Nevada, so never mind. I'm like, okay, that's a weird thing.
Weird.
I've had so many women cancel in the last second. These top 3, literally. Okay, so Radio Fan canceled on me once. Now maybe we're rescheduling for next week. I don't believe anything until I'm knocking on a door. The Professor, she phoned in sick recently on me. Is she really sick? Is she not? Maybe. Who knows? But even the Valley Girl admitted to me after our night of debauchery on Friday. She said, hey, funny story. I almost canceled our first date. I just assumed you would be just another idiot waste of time. So an hour before our first date, I was ready to cancel. And my roommate basically talked me into showing up anyways. So, like, there's just so many cold feet, second thoughts, regrets. Don't know if I really want to. It's infuriating and makes it so hard to try to go out there and play the game nicely because no one else is playing by any of these rules. So
yeah, exactly.
Nick, thoughts on all this stuff?
No, that's a bummer, Brewski. I mean, here's the thing, dude. You guys are dating in a scenario where you're behind a keyboard. Well, for Brewski, it's a little bit more heartbreaking because you know this person and you were having conversation with her and you know her from your past. But even so, you guys
I knew
are
the lawyer, kind of. We had a first date, and then she flaked on me at the last second on round 2.
Yeah.
It seems to me that I can only speak for Harness because I'm only up on some of these people that he's been going to go out with.
Yeah.
It seems to me that you're finding these women who are great, and you could definitely get a date with someone who is less than 9 times out of 10.
Yes.
But when you're going for the ones that you actually want to go out with, it seems that some of them don't have dating as a priority.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
what's
they
that
don't
about?
have it as a priority like you do. Like, you want to go out on some dates and meet some people, and whether or not they've already been through it, like Valley Girl said, like, I just figured it'd be another, dumb date with some douchebag. So yeah, I don't know if they just don't have the priority in their lives to date like you do, or if it is the cold feet thing. But it's easier to bow out behind a keyboard. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it
No,
is.
I mean, yeah. I don't know if there's games going on or what. You remember Putin, or Putin, as I called her?
Yes.
The Russian. She was all, flirting back and forth. And then as soon as I was like, Saturday at 7, let's do it, she vanished. And then I called her out, like, oh, I see you're, all smoke and mirrors, huh? And she finally replied eventually. And she's like, all right, I'm still going through my divorce. I actually still live with my, soon to be ex-husband. So I'm like, then why are you on these apps? What
Such
games are you playing? Like, she just wanted her ego to feel good because she's gone through a divorce.
Yeah, exactly. Because no one's giving her love at home, so she wants random dudes to tell her how pretty she is and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
Bruce,
And you are right,
did
Nick,
you,
like-
untie this with this woman? Did you tell her that, like, you don't seem interested, or did you just kind of let a sleeping dog lie, or what?
No, I just said, hey, Amy, I said, I understand that people are busy, especially this time of year, because she's an art teacher now at a school, and her son's coming home from college soon and that sort of thing. And I said, I understand the holidays, things get real busy. Here's my phone number. If you want to connect or you want to do something, because I let her be known what I envisioned on that particular date of us going to the Gardner Museum. Just nice and easy for us to do, no pressure or anything like that. I was like, if you're interested in doing something, here's my number. You know how to reach me. And if you're not interested, no problem. And I wish you the best.
And what was her reply? Because I've told that to a few women, like, hey, if you're not interested, just tell me. And their response tells me a lot. Because some women reply like, no, like, I'm definitely interested. And others will just be like, yeah, sure, I'll call you. And then you never hear from them.
I haven't heard back from her yet. So,
yeah, so that's not a good sign. So, yeah.
Oh, well.
Here's a much better question I have for you, Brewski.
Yeah.
Is that a Santa Claus costume behind you?
What?
Well, I think it's a
Do you see it,
hockey
Nick?
jersey.
Oh, no. That's a football
It looks
jersey.
like a red thing with a black belt and a white beard laying over your closet back there.
Oh, no. That's a dress shirt, a white dress shirt sitting on top of a football jersey.
Oh, I see. I just am in the holiday spirit, I guess. I was
Yeah.
why you're not wearing that. Like, come on.
Well,
Beard
listen,
up for us.
I got something for the show today.
I've been Santa Claus in the past in the mall, so
you
have you?
I have. And,
I did that once too.
Well, and I used and they used to have our Santa Claus area outside this bar in the mall. And of course, you get all the drunk chicks coming out. Hey, can I sit on Santa's lap? All that sort of
Oh,
stuff.
well, that's a good angle. I actually did it in a posing for pictures with kids.
No,
My
that's
wife
no,
and I-
that's what it was. I was supposed to be there to take pictures with kids, but it was
Okay.
outside. It was in the middle of the mall, but happened to be outside this bar in the mall. And then
I see.
the chicks would come out of the bar and want to come over, and
There are families all over this town that have pictures of me in their house, posing with their kids where I'm Santa Claus. And I'll tell you, one kid years later looked at that picture and was like, I think that's Neo's dad. And the mom called me. It was just like, it's amazing. Like, I don't know, something about your eyes. Like the kid, because I had the full, fake eyebrows, the full beard. Like it was only like a little slit of my eye sticking out.
Yeah. I did the Santa Claus at Toys R Us for near my house here.
Wow.
And
The courts allowed that, huh? That's weird.
and I actually had some moms. Like one mom was like, "Boy, Santa Claus has some really pretty blue eyes," and and I'm just like,
You've been naughty or nice, mommy.
It's kind of weird. But I still have this little plaster Santa Claus face that this little girl painted, and she sat with me for the picture. And then she comes over and she handed me this plaque. And then she says to me, Santa Claus, I love you. And she hugged my leg and I melted.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
I mean,
Nick, what are you holding up there? You got to talk so I can see your camera.
Oh, this is here, Brewski. This is Harness in his Santa Claus outfit, shooting himself in the head.
Yes. Because that's how I
Lovely.
felt after posing with children for hours. Honestly, It was the claustrophobia. I don't have claustrophobia, but when I put on that full costume and I had the big wig on, the hat on, the beard on, the eyebrows, like
It's
all
hot.
yes, it gets hot in there, and you got kids sitting on you, getting all up in your business. I was just
Ooh.
like, get me out of here. Like, it freaked me out after a while.
Well, you did it for charity, Brewski. Did you get paid to do it, Brewski?
I did, yes.
Mine wasn't for charity. It was a business I started.
It was?
Yes. When we moved to Tahoe 15 years ago or whatever it was, nobody in this town did pictures with Santa Claus. You had to go to Reno or Sacramento to pose with Santa. So my ex-wife and I were like, we've got camera equipment. So we paid to get this, background to hang behind you. There was Santa's workshop, and we bought the uniform, and we charged whatever it was. We had different packages, and set up at a kid's gym place here in town. And every Saturday in the month of December from 2 to 5, come get your picture with Santa. We
Did
made
you make money?
Oh, we made, I want to say like good $3,000 or something off that. I mean, it was good.
Nice.
And then, by the way, everyone started bringing Santa to town. Like, no one had heard of it before us somehow, and now there's 20 Santas here. So, and what
play the Santa, dude? Tell me what you said when the kid would come up and sit on your lap.
Ho,
Hello.
ho, ho. Oh, sorry, that wasn't my Santa impersonation. I was looking at my dating apps. Ho, ho, ho. No, I would do my Santa voice. Nikki, have you been a good little boy this year?
And then they would
I'm a
say,
character
what do
actor.
you want? What do you want this year for Christmas? Same thing, Brewski?
Yes. And I don't know about Steve, but I got some really some usual requests, but then every so often you get the heartbreaking requests and that kids ask for and all that. And,
Bring my daddy home for
Yeah,
Christmas. Stuff
no,
like that.
yeah, but because Dad walked out on Mom.
Ouch.
Daddy went to go get milk and hasn't been back in a year. Bring Daddy back. And what would you say?
Well, you can't promise anything.
You're Santa, you're magic. Come on.
You do. He's never going to see you
I'll go
again.
get your daddy now.
No.
How would you like
I'm
me
sure
to
he
be
got
your
his
daddy?
pack of smokes. Come on.
Well, but then there was another one that wanted their dad back, and their dad had died.
Oh,
Well,
jeez.
you really got to work your magic at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have looked at the mom and said, I'll tell you who's your daddy.
If they would have been nice looking, I mean, you could have picked up on moms. I'm sure you could have.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely. Naughty. and
yeah.
nice.
Well, yeah, I didn't know I had two Santas in my friend group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, for our YouTube audience, Nick has a Marco Grouch mustache on now. How was that holiday themed?
Groucho
You said
Marx.
something for Santa.
This was a gift from my niece, dude. She wanted me to wear. She asked me if I would wear this on my next podcast, and I told her at least I would. So,
You should grow a mustache like that, Nick.
yeah, I
You'll
don't-
look a little chomo-y, just to,
yeah, little chomo-y, or do I look very intelligent and refined? Listen,
Chomo.
You look, no. I think he looks like Mario from Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, that guy's a perv
bit.
too, though. Let's be honest. Always jumping in and out of pipes and holes. Let's be real. Popping mushrooms. Freaking
let's see
drug
you
addict.
grow a beard, Brewski. Any chance?
No,
Why? I want.
Not
Because-
the look or
because
can't grow one? What's the?
I
what's
can't.
the
No,
deal?
I can't grow one. The side of my face, it gets all splotchy and doesn't just doesn't grow.
Not
Like
full.
I
see.
Some guys are that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll hit puberty eventually when you hit 58, I guess.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I didn't start shaving regularly until I was like mid-20s.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since we've been talking here about the world of dating and these weird relationships where people are looking for sex, they're not looking for sex, this 100 terms that Brewski and I have been forced to learn, the pansexuals and the omnisexual, all of this crap out there. Brewski sent us an article this week that I mean, I just cry bullshit on the face of this article. I don't even know how far into it I can get, but let me just comment here. The headline on this article is "Woman Loves Living in Non-Sexual Threesome. My boyfriend's best friend even helps solve our arguments."
Ugh.
What the fuck is a non-sexual threesome? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
it defeats the definition of what a threesome is.
It's called a friendship.
Yes.
Right?
Was the TV for show Friends? Was that a 6-way non-sexual orgy every episode?
Let's just be honest. You want a friendship where you guys might lay down on a bed together and sleep. I don't know. Does that include cuddling? I mean, that's what I imagine, that it is some sort of physical touch of a hug or a cuddle, but nothing more.
I'm waiting because one of these days this article's going to change. These three will be making porn or something. Because the main picture, the two dudes have their arms around each other, but only the one dude has his arms around the actually very attractive blonde. So I don't know. Let me just start to read this until I start vomiting of the hypocrisy of what's going on here.
Please.
A woman has shared her experience of living in a non-sexual threesome with her boyfriend and his best friend, not to mention sharing businesses and booking joint holidays together. Again, if that's her boyfriend, so she's banging the boyfriend, so this third guy is just a friend, right? I don't know.
I'm so confused, dude. I'm so confused as why the other person's there.
Lily Brown has been in a relationship with boyfriend Alistair Moss for 4 years, ever since they met at the university. After they left, the couple moved in with Alistair's best pal, Tom Doherty, to save on rent. Them all 23 years old. Who wrote this article? It's riddled with typos.
Them all 24.
Them all 23 years old. Well, this might not be entirely uncommon for young people. He has become far more than just a flatmate. Maybe this isn't Britain. I don't know.
It is in Britain, yeah.
All these years later, Tom shows no signs of moving out of the home they all share in Lincoln, nor do Lily or Alistair want him to move out. And he even joins them on trips abroad and romantic meals out. Rather than pining for their own space after a while, Lily says she loves having him around with the couple, even using him to referee when they bicker. Quote, life would be so different without Tom. He's so funny and makes us laugh so much. We're all best friends, and we trust each other with everything.
He's a dancing monkey for their entertainment, dude.
Right? Is he watching you guys bang? Is he like cuckold or something? Quote, as a trio, we spend pretty much 24/7 together as we not only live together, but work together too. As best friends, we also love to go out and have fun together. And those around them have grown used to expecting them as a package deal. Quote, all of our friends and family love our relationship, and it's so rare and wholesome at the same time. When one of us isn't at an occasion, someone is bound to ask where the third one is. That said, some do wonder about just how harmonious living with your boyfriend and his best friend can really be. People ask if I get fed up having Tom around all the time, but I love it, and it doesn't feel as though we're living in each other's pockets, she adds, though he is respectful to the couple's space when he needs to be. I guess that means when they're doing it. I don't know.
This is a whole you, me, and Dupree real life scenario, right?
There's something so unhealthy going on here where these two can't just have an intimate relationship. They need a third person around to be the comic relief or whatever it is.
I'll tell you what, I think you hit the nail on the head, and I will speak from personal experience on this. I remember when I started to feel, with my last relationship before I was married, I started to feel like the relationship was at a stall and that it wasn't really going anywhere. But it was one of those endings to a relationship where, boy, I still loved her and we were great friends. You know, they talk about people becoming roommates in their relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's kind of where we were. But I do remember that, like, her sister would they were great friends, and she would come over and spend the night sometimes. And I remember a point in the relationship where I would advocate more and more, like when she'd come over for dinner or something, I'd be like, you should spend the night, because it took so much weight off my shoulders of trying to keep what was there together, because she was bothered by her sister. You know what I mean? I could kind of bow out and go play video games, or say, like, you should spend the night tonight. You know, we'd love to have you. You know, it happened more and more. And that's exactly what this is. Like, if you aren't comfortable around your partner by yourself, there's something wrong.
Absolutely. And I don't know which one of them dubbed this a non-sexual threesome. It's a sexual twosome with somebody hanging around you all the time. That's
you're
not
friendly.
threesome.
Just say what it is, dude. There's got to be these odd labels on everything that, for some reason, They want to put odd labels on everything. So we have to
Yes.
acknowledge this odd label that this is something normal. And if it's not something that we view as normal, well, we can't talk about it because now we're just fucking being rude and, not buying into what a threesome, a non-sexual threesome.
Yeah.
That's
It's
bullshit.
It's a
I call
contradiction on its face.
Yes.
Yeah, it is bullshit. And just like Bruce and I have been discussing, these women that what's the term? I even forget now. Where it's a non-sexual dating relationship. Like that's just being friends.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Or I'm only attracted to you intellectually. Like, but you're still attracted to them. And I don't buy that if Brad Pitt was a flaming moron that you wouldn't say he's a good-looking guy versus John Candy at his height of, 300 pounds. Like, oh, but he's really funny, so I find him sexually attractive. Like,
No, they'd go after Pitt even if he was a mimbo,
yes.
What's
So,
a
yeah, I don't know
bimbo?
why everyone has a male bimbo. Me, everyone, every guy. That's
right.
every guy is a male bimbo, right? I mean, really.
Well, but I mean, but a bimbo implies that someone is lacking intellectually, so that they've got the looks, but they don't have the brains.
I guess.
Not so much just all sex or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you, Nick. It's somebody's attempt to wrap their head around what they just feel comfortable with.
Sure.
It's not that I can't be intimate with my partner. It's that I'm in a non-sexual threesome.
Yes.
I mean, to me, you know what? She likes her boyfriend. They have a great sex life and that sort of thing, but she doesn't really connect well friend-wise with the boyfriend as far as
Yes.
interests go. And this other guy is just a friend to hang out with. She's not even giving this guy a handy or anything like that.
No.
She
You're right. I
calls
pinned this.
I have my cake and eat it too relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I pinned this on the boyfriend. If you were good enough, funny enough, social enough, if you covered the whole spectrum with this woman, like I was talking about the last show, you've got to be emotionally compatible, sexually compatible, spiritually compatible. Like there's all these compatibilities. So obviously her boyfriend is lacking in one of these big wedges on that circle graph, but Bob, their third partner, is filling
Tom.
in the gap. Yeah, Tom. So,
But her boyfriend's
poor
name is
Tom,
Alice
dude.
there too. Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with him? Just hanging around this couple all the time. Like, go get somewhere.
And is Tom getting that? Don't talk about that. Is Tom getting some outside of the non-sexual threesome?
It certainly implies that he is not. I mean, it says they're all together 24/7. They have this pathetic picture where the couple's on a cliff hugging, and Tom is just standing behind them with his head down.
I see that.
Three's a crowd, dude. I mean, that's how it used to be, right?
Right. Sign me up for
Yeah.
a non-sexual threesome. Like, shoot me in the head. What the hell is that?
Listen,
Yeah, and
you found the perfect woman right now. Just rang all your bells. And she said, I would like another man to live with us. I won't have sex with him, and I won't sleep with him, even in my bed. But he's going to live here, and there's something that I get from him intellectually. But I really want to be with you. Would you do it?
Well, I would say she's not ringing all my bells if she needs
Yeah.
another guy around. If it's just a roommate and, it helps with our rent and we all hang out, but then at the end of the night, like, bye, Tom, me and my
Yeah.
woman are going behind closed doors, or we're going out alone. I'm not going to put Facebook pictures with the two of us cuddling and Tom standing behind us. Like, no, I would not be okay with that. No.
And how about the pictures of them out on New Year's with them both wearing tuxedos with her? And she's like, well, when midnight strikes, we all just kind of like, touch hands because we're not big PDA people. It's just like, come on.
Here's what's probably really happening. They're both probably Devil's three-way tag teaming her every goddamn night. But she wants to be like Jesus and Mary. Like, it's an immaculate conception. There's nothing going on here. I'm not some dirty whore. We're just in a non-sexual threesome. Like, they got to both be banging the snot out of her. Or, like we said, it's just this guy's filling in some void that the real boyfriend is not satisfying because
Or
it's all bullshit.
what if the two guys are banging each other and she's not banging either one of them, and she just likes being like they both are there for her to be kind of like, or
She's the buffer?
yeah, no. You know how there's a certain term I don't want to use when they talk about women who like to hang out with gay dudes.
Beards?
No.
Just
God.
use the term. Is the term terrible
Okay,
to use?
Yeah, I'll say it. Fag hag.
Hmm.
What if she's what if both of these guys are both guys that she likes to like they both like some of the same things that
I
she
hear you.
does, but
I
not
hear you.
all of them. And but then these two, but she's their beard.
Yeah.
You know
That
what
could
I
be.
mean?
Or these two dudes are banging each other and just don't want to tell her that. So they're just like, no. Like, babe, it's the three of us. It's non-sexual. Like,
Don't worry about
Tom
it.
and I are not doing anything.
We should try and get them on the show. You would think like that would be an easy get, right?
Yeah, well, we got their thing on here. And like I said, this first picture of them, the two dudes have their arms around each other.
Yeah.
And then only the one dude's got his arm around the lady. So there seems to be something a little sexual between the two guys. So.
Yeah.
And by the way, nothing wrong with that. Just own it, is my point. Don't call it a non-sexual threesome.
And think about this. Look at the picture of them in the tuxedos. Don't those guys together look like they'd be a handsome couple?
Yes, they do look like a good-looking gay couple.
I mean, like too good looking, you know?
I think one of them doesn't want to admit he's gay. So it's like, no, like I got a girlfriend right here. We're all just buddies hanging out. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
when she goes to bed at 8 o'clock, they go down and do a little PlayStation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know what it is? They're both pulling Josh Hawley and a Tom Cotton. They both got their beard.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I don't know, Brewski. See if you can find these people. See if they're willing to come on here and own up to this shit, because it reeks of baloney to me.
I will get on that and see if we can get them on the show.
All right.
And then maybe we can always pull Dark Horse on with them too.
Yeah, our cheating expert. He can probably pull the truth out of these three. What the hell's really going on?
Yeah, because
Or maybe she's out banging some fourth guy or something. Like,
Yeah.
I smell a horse somewhere in this equation. I don't know if it's the guy, the girl.
There's a big hoary situation here. We don't know
Yes.
what it is yet, but it's there. We can tell.
It's got the aura of whore. So I don't know which one of the three it is, but something more than meets the eye is going on here. So, and yes, just like Mary, the Immaculate Conception. That's no, never. I didn't do anything. It just happened. Like,
Yeah.
brr.
You imagine that conversation? Yeah, Joseph, I'm pregnant. Well, I thought you were a virgin. Yeah, well, God, and it's like, wait a minute, I thought you were a virgin.
It's
Well,
a miracle.
Yeah, no, I didn't do anything. I totally didn't do anything.
Right. You slut. Oh, I just got banned from Twitter.
Don't say
again.
that, dude. That's terrible.
Oh, she only did it with one guy. You're right. Sorry.
It's terrible.
Speaking of Twitter, are we up on the latest? Is Elon Musk resigning? Is he throwing himself out? Did you guys see what has gone on in the last 24 hours here?
Well, let me tell you, Steve, I will say this, all right?
Are you going to wear that mustache for the rest of the show?
Is it bothering you?
It's kind of funny, but it's a little distracting. But it's okay. I can accept
All
you.
right. Well, from my glasses to my mustache, you are not into my looks today.
You got a little cross-dressing thing going on. You got women's glasses. You got the Marco Grouch, Groucho Mark, mustache going. But you're pulling it off. Don't worry about it.
Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk, posted an informal poll Sunday asking users of the social media platform if he should step down as CEO. Yeah. Musk claimed he will abide by the results of the poll, but it is unclear whether or not he will actually do so. The poll closed on Monday morning with a majority of respondents calling for the billionaire to leave his post. 57.5% voted for his departure. It was later revealed that all that voted for his departure were Tesla stockholders. Do your fucking job, Elon Musk.
I will tell you, when I saw that article, I immediately flipped to our Twitter app to go vote yes. Please resign. Please. The poll had already closed at that point, unfortunately. But he's been doing these polls, and he's been saying, like, whatever the results are, that's, when he let Trump back on, that was a poll. And he's done a few others, and he's saying that I'll abide by it. So now I read another, financial news article today that said that this whole poll is a smokescreen. Of course he wants out. The place is bleeding money. He's destroying it. He's in over his head. He doesn't understand the ramifications of what it means to ban journalists, to say you can't promote yourself on other social media networks. He's tripping over legal problems. He's fucking the entire thing up that he paid way too much for.
Yes.
So this financial guy was saying, like, of course he wants out. So he's doing a happy dance that this poll went his way, and will soon announce that, yeah, he's going to step down.
Well, and I would think even more importantly, dude, in all sincerity, the fact that Tesla stock has just fucking shit the bed.
Yes.
Stockholders are speaking, dude, like this is fucking crazy. Do your fucking job. Do your job over here. You cannot forget about what you've started over here and we've all bought into. Now you're tanking two companies. Do at least, you can't do both of them well, obviously.
Nope. Go ahead,
I was gonna say, did you guys see who has been rumored to be the new CEO if he steps down?
No. God, who?
Trump?
Kanye West?
No, but Nick's close.
Who? Stop
Jared
teasing me. Who is it?
Kushner.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And it's a
that'd be great, in all honesty. Just shoot that company in the head then.
But they were both at the World Cup final in Qatar in the box with the Saudis and the Qataris, who both have invested in Musk's buying of Twitter. They were both in the box there of them.
Yeah, I saw that. Listen, I would think that would be even more hilarious. I mean, he spent $44 billion to buy it, which was way too much. He sold $40 billion in Tesla stock to get that money. Twitter, in the just month, 2 months now, he's owned it. He's lost $4 billion. So this reeks of the rich. Yeah. No, this reeks of a rich guy that wanted to go buy this new toy and now realizes he's in way over his head. He's destroying the company, and now he's going to fuck Tesla up. He's ruining his brand, his image. So I bet he is looking to abandon ship. And if he hands it off to a moron, it's just going to tank it even further. I mean, if he had any brains, he would get somebody from the tech industry to take this thing over and do it the right way.
Well, and is there anything odd about that? And this is a serious question that I'm asking you fellas. It's not for shock value at all. I'm wondering if he's thinking about Jared Kushner, with all the backlash of everything that he's posted and has been saying, is he getting somebody Jewish to come in and run this company on purpose?
Yeah, maybe. But honestly, Kushner would be a pretty big conflict because, Daddy owns Truth Social. So he would be competing with Papa Trump there.
Well, but the other part of that whole thing with Kushner is that they would fold in Truth Social to Twitter and turn and allow Trump back onto Twitter, and they would be folding it in, and then that way they would take that out of
competition off the table.
Well, that financial part of things would be out of Trump's. He wouldn't have to be concerned about that anymore. That's what I've also read.
About what? The financial competition of using Truth Social instead of Twitter?
No, him having to actually, pay the bills every month for Truth Social. If Truth Social got folded into Twitter,
I see. Okay.
Then that's not something he has to own anymore. It's not something he has to manage anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. That'd still be pretty fucking humorous and hypocritical of all of them.
It'd be fantastic. Yeah. I applaud it, dude. Please, let's go that direction.
Listen, Twitter is the least of our social media platforms. Like, we've got the least activity going on there. So I would love to just see that thing implode, to stick it to the rich guy who thought he could step in and do anything.
Well, but the thing about it is that, okay, he received a lot of money from the Saudis and the Qataris,
yes,
to buy this. Okay, he sold Tesla stock, right? But
yeah.
he didn't. Okay, so then that's a big pot of money because they gave more than $4 billion to him because Putin was involved in that too. Putin gave him a bunch of money to buy Twitter also. So there's this huge pot of money. So some of that money went towards the purchase of Twitter, but some of that money did not go to that. So where did it go to? That's my number one question. And then the other part of it is that I've read that part of the reason why Twitter was purchased in the first place was because he was going to use that as a mouthpiece for both the Russians and the Saudis and any of these other despots that were looking for a mouthpiece outside of their official, spokesperson and that sort of thing, who everybody would just dismissed as spouting the party line and that sort of thing. Yeah. So then he could actually change everything up with the algorithm at Twitter and get their message out there. That's part of the reason why he's not so worried about the money, is because it's
still
not
going
his
to
money.
ruin. It's going to ruin Twitter. I mean, he could have just sunk $4 billion into Truth Social and made it that thing, but he bought.
No, because Twitter
He didn't
has
have the users though. You know.
exactly, and Twitter, prior to him purchasing it, Twitter actually had a good reputation.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Twitter and Facebook were the two biggest names out there. So I get why he wanted to own it, but now he's realizing he doesn't know how to actually run it. His vision of opening up, free speech to everyone is not what he thought, and he's being a total hypocrite, banning people reporting on him or his airplane or any of this shit.
Because it's never been about free speech. It's a smokescreen. He's been saying he wanted to talk about promote free speech.
Yeah, but how is he not going to destroy Twitter in this? Like, none of us are going to realize what he's done. He's turned it into Truth Social. It's what he's trying to do. So most normal humans are not going to stick with it. And as I said before, the value of a social media company is only the followers you have. And as soon as any of us just walk away from it, we can go to 20 other platforms, but the one we just left is fucked.
But and the thing about it though is that I've heard nothing but bad reviews from people who go to Post and Mastodon and all these other places that are like wannabe Twitter, that they're not as easily to use, and
because no one knows what they're doing over there either. This is the point. Like Jack Dorsey, you can hate him all you want. Same with Zuckerberg. They made two social media platforms that worked. They got billions of people to sign up for it, and they were successful. That's why Twitter was apparently worth $44 billion, because it was a good thing and it was working.
Well, my theory on the whole $44 billion was that I think Musk didn't want to buy Twitter at first. But then when he threw the $44 billion out there, he thought for sure they weren't going to take it. They were going to say, we won't sell it for any amount of money to you. Yeah. And then when they said, yeah, we'll do it, and then that's why he started.
He tried to back out at one point.
Yeah, but then there was that huge poison pill that if he backed out, that would be inflicted upon him if he backed out of the deal.
There was a big financial penalty, so he was trying to claim fraud and their numbers, all these bots and everything. And then it was put up or shut up time, and he decided to do it. But I think he thought it was going to be a walk in the park, and that he could just bully everyone over at Twitter and all of us users of it. And it's not working that way.
Both. I think that he felt like he had to do it at one point, or he would be Epsteined. I mean, there's too many big players that put money up for this. And, he'd already made a deal. It's a deal you can't back out on unless you want to end up dead in your hotel room. You know what I mean?
But why would they Epstein him?
Why? Because
there's so much money from so many powerful people.
So many, and you know what? In a sense, this is a smokescreen for Musk to be a puppet for them. I mean, they've already put the money in. They have the deal. He's not going to back out. So yeah, do away with him.
Twitter was huge. They were throwing out the bad kids, and so Elon thought he could step in there and right the ship again, but he's just sinking it.
Are you okay, Brewski?
No, I'm not.
What's the matter, bud?
I went to the doctor today and I got some what do you call it? Shots. News? No, I got shots.
Brewski's playing with his arm, for those of you that can't see it.
Sorry, my right shoulder is killing me. I got a flu shot. I got a pneumonia vaccine shot. And then I
wanted to make sure you weren't in pain, dude. As far as I didn't know if something was going on with your defibrillator.
And then I got a COVID booster too, and the muscle where I got shot up. And I don't mean to. I'm not trying to.
No, you're fine. I just thought that, all of a sudden your defibrillator was going to go off or something.
No, nothing like that. It's just
okay.
It's just sore where I got injected. That's all. But anyway, back to the discussion. Yeah, he couldn't back out of the deal. And at that point there, it's like, okay, well, we got to go with it.
Right. Let's talk about another rich moron operating on his ego. And I can't tell if the joke was on him or on us. But Donald Trump announcing this past week that he was going to be putting out his own, what are they called? The NFTs?
NFTs, yeah.
Yeah, he was putting out his own virtual playing cards, portraying him as various types of heroes and whatnot.
And for the small price of $99.
Right. And when he announced this, he was correctly, roundly ridiculed by not only people that are normal, journalists, broadcasters, comedians, but even people like Steve Bannon said that, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Well, his whole speech, dude, when he brought him on and started talking about him, I was just like, this is a joke. I mean, at some point in time, he's going to say he's joking, but no, it just kept going. And these NFTs, dude, I think there's 5 or 6 of them that I've seen anyway. I mean, it shows him as an astronaut. It shows him as a war hero, which is pretty fucking funny when you dodge
A draft
the laugh.
dodger.
Like, it's so disrespectful, dude, on so many levels. Shows him as like a fireman and like a superhero puffing his chest out.
That's disrespectful too.
Yes.
Fucking.
But yeah, did you guys keep going, Steve? I don't want to take something that you may already be saying.
Yeah, so, everyone roundly ridiculed him correctly, and it's humorous. And again, I don't know who the joke's on. It took 12 hours to sell out all $45,000 or 45,000 cards at $99 each for a net of $4.45 million in 12 hours. Now, obviously, he didn't get the full $4 million, but some fucking morons went out there and bought these things for $100 a piece.
Of course they did, dude.
If you were one of those people, just tattoo sucker across your forehead. First of all, you could take a goddamn screenshot of these NFTs if you just want to have his picture as a superhero or whatever. But
illegal.
Why would you spend $100 of your money to see this hero of yours portrayed as all of these false idols and making him over $4 million in 12 hours?
Well, and do you see already? I mean, what are we into this? Day 2 or 3? Well, I mean, when did he announce? Was it on Sunday or Friday? I mean, we're a few days into this, okay?
The big announcement, Nick. It was a big announcement.
Was it huge?
Yeah, he announced it on Thursday.
Okay.
And they went on sale a few days later and sold out in 12 hours.
And now do you see where we already are falling into what's happening now? Do you know the current?
No.
All these images that he used for the NFTs, he fucking stole, dude.
Yeah.
They had somebody go in and they found all of the bodies that he used from different clip art that was for sale on different pages that he didn't pay for. He stole them.
Wow. He didn't even pony up to have some half-ass artist just come up with these things?
No.
He didn't. And now there's further investigation into this, dude, because people are looking into this thinking, okay, con man, let's look into how you're actually doing this. And all the money that this corporation that is making these NFTs is coming from, if you look through like their privacy policy on these cards, all of it's coming from these buildings like, this is where this headquarters are. Tax-wise, we're taking $3 million to do this at our headquarters. You go to these addresses of the places that he's using as headquarters, and this is a huge money laundering scheme. All of these companies are like shut down abandoned buildings when you go look at them. I mean, big for a guy that's already under heavy investigation right now. This was a bad time to do this. I mean, if you follow the paper trail, it's fucking unbelievable what he's using. I mean, these are obviously dilapidated, shut down buildings that he said, this is what's happening at this location. And
it's just digging a hole deeper, huh?
Well, and then you also know about the, I guess some people didn't understand quite what an NFT was. And
I barely understand what it is and why you want it or need it. It's a picture.
Well, but some of these people were under the impression that they were going to get a physical trading card in the mail.
Hard stock card.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the presidential coin collection thing or something.
Yeah, exactly. So they wanted to know, where should I give you my address for you to ship me my cards?
No, we just need your email address. The thing that's so comical about this, Steve, is that an NFT, you can, we've talked about this a little bit in the past. The way to make money off of them is to put the NFT out and you use and hire an artist commission an artist to make these things for you. And then when people want to use them, they got to fucking pay you. Exactly the opposite of what he did to make his NFTs. He went and stole everything from everybody. It's just so comical.
Wow, it's truly hilarious. And I don't understand this whole NFT thing. I don't get why I want a virtual trading card. I truly don't understand it.
You just want that image. You want that image, whether it's to use on your website or whatever it might be. You want that image. And
so it gives you some sort of licensing rights to it?
Yes, and I don't know why he thought people would want these NFTs. I mean,
his people are literally suckers and gullible and would probably pay for almost anything with their hero on there. But I just find that to be hilarious and lazy. There's so many artists out there that will work for nothing, starving artists. Like that's a term for a reason. You could have spent probably 10 grand at the most. Yes. Somebody draw up these things. I mean,
and I mean, they have found each individual image and who owned that image already. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be lawsuits over it.
Well, get in line, though, right? Because how many legal problems does Trump have? And as of today, on the day we're recording this podcast, we have found out the January 6th panel has referred 4 different counts for criminal prosecution of our former president.
To the DOJ.
Let's see here. Now, these are referrals, so the DOJ has to decide what to do with it. But count 1, obstruction of an official proceeding. Count 2, conspiracy to defraud the United States. Count 3, conspiracy to make a false statement. And count 4, to incite, assist, and or aid and comfort an insurrection.
Yes.
Our former president charged or referred for prosecution on these things.
Let me tell you.
So we finally have an answer to that question of are they going to do anything with this January 6th committee?
With these 4 charges alone, at the very least, if this man is still able to run for president, the whole thing's corrupt. The whole thing's corrupt.
Yes. Listen, I don't even care at this point if he goes to jail. I would love it. I would love to see that. But just disqualify him from ever holding a public office again. If we can just at least accomplish that, for the love of God.
Please. That would deflate his ego more than anything, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, he would use that as a smokescreen that, they knew I would win, which I don't think he will win at all.
No.
So I don't know what would be more humorous, to not allow him to run for getting prosecuted for something finally, or to let the moron run and lose for the second time,
Well, but I will say that I wanted to see him run because I wanted to see him debating against Ron DeSantis, because DeSantis is one of those guys that, he is very strong back away from the car sort of vibes to him. He doesn't want
to see the Civil War.
No, but DeSantis, he has really no skills. All of his weaknesses, Trump will go right to and destroy him on, and just to make him look awful. It would just be so funny to watch.
No, that's what I mean. Like the Republican Civil War, they're all going to eviscerate each other during these primaries if Trump is involved. So, yeah, it would certainly be beyond entertaining, and I would love to watch all that. But part of me doesn't want that stress of the 1 in a million shot that he could actually win the White House again.
No, but you know who else is going to run too? Liz Cheney.
Oh yeah. I mean, she would be fun.
Because her old man has got all of the establishment Republicans and all the establishment Republican money sitting there waiting to back her up. That's what all this was all about with her on January 6th. Was part of it was to get rid of Trump, but also so she could run for president in 2024.
Yeah, and I could probably sleep with if she won. I don't think she would, but if some sort of middle of the road old school Republican would like to run,
but she's not. Look at her. Look at her. Her positions. I mean, she's been pushing for a long time, saying that Democrats wanted and supported babies being born and then put to death.
Yeah, but she's still not a Trump, a DeSantis, any of those just utter whack jobs.
I get she's that.
Kind of like Mike Pence. Like, I don't like the guy, but at least I know who he is. I know what he's capable of, and I know he'll follow some set of rules. So
I get that, but I mean, if we're going to talk about a Republican you can deal with, I'd rather have it be like a Northeast Republican, like Charlie Baker, the governor from Massachusetts here, who is wildly popular and that sort of thing. He would
don't get your
absolutely,
hopes up too high that Republicans are going to go common sense.
yeah, because he would be able to actually, he would be able to win. But the problem is he's pro-choice. And
Well, the problem is he has to run in the GOP primary, and those nut jobs out there aren't going to vote for somebody who's got some sort of common sense going on. That's going to be the funny part. The Republicans are not going to embrace Trump, but the primary voters probably still will.
Yeah.
So, well, I can't wait to see what happens. But, yeah, I mean, I'm losing track. We've got, potential charges out of New York State, civil and criminal. We've got the charges in Georgia. We've got the insurrection stuff. Now, apparently, we're adding potential trading card violations to it. Tops is going to come after him. I mean,
the upper deck people are on the line. They want to know what's going on.
Nick, what does your attorney-at-law wife think? Is any of this shit ever going to catch up to him like it would any normal human being?
Teflon Trump, dude. Who knows? I mean, it's all rigged, right? I mean, this is all rigged, dude. How much are we going to get in? All we care about at this point, just give him the lowest felony that you can give this man. Please just give it to him. Please.
If it really was rigged by us Democrats, he would be in Guantanamo Bay already. So it's clearly not rigged because people like us are frustrated that it's taking so long. Prosecute him already.
Yes, please.
I mean, seriously, what the fuck?
I feel like we've got the proper people on it. At least we have the best people on it now than we have had in the past. These people actually could make something happen, but who knows? I mean, we've seen him wiggle out of so many full Nelsons that it's hard to tell, right?
Jack Smith has been pretty aggressive already. I mean, he was wrapping up stuff at The Hague at the war crimes trials, and he was pulling double duty where he was getting up to speed and starting to get things going as far as on prosecuting this whole thing.
Yeah, well, listen, this next year is going to be very interesting because the closer we get to 2024 elections, you either need to shit or get off the pot. Either get something going in this next year. Don't push it up to the next election because then it does look like you're playing politics. So
exactly the problem. That's been exactly the problem up until this point. Like, we got to get it done, dude. Every Republican who has stepped onto your side that said, "Oh, maybe he is shady. Maybe he is shady." Well, your timing is impeccable, ladies and gentlemen, with leading it up to an election, doing it now. Just fucking make it happen, Captain. We got to get it done.
Yeah,
it looks suspicious.
I agree. It's going to be very interesting to watch what happens over the next year or two. And I've been envisioning him in orange from head to toe, besides his fake spray tan, for years now. And, God, man, I mean, if he actually went to prison, how amazing would that be?
See, it's interesting to me, too, because
I just came a little in my pants. I'm sorry.
Do you know who Bob Chrisley is?
No.
I know Todd Chrisley.
That's what I meant. Thank you, Brewski. Appreciate you
I don't know who
stepping
he is
in.
either.
Tremendous play by Brewski.
Todd Chrisley and his wife just got, arrested, going to prison, right? For, I think it's fraud.
It's taxes.
Tax evasion. Fraud, yeah. So, but they had the prison on and kind of gave a little tour of where they're going and talked to some people who had been in that prison. And let me tell you, I mean, we saw a little bit with Martha Stewart, but like some of these prisons are really country clubs.
Not so bad. Yeah.
And I mean,
it's still prisons, though. You still have your rights taken away.
Yes, to a certain degree, it will. But I want to see him. What's the show we used to watch on HBO? I want to see him.
Oz.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see him in, dude.
Well, that'd be wonderful. But unfortunately, he is legitimately famous enough and all that they can't just throw him in the general population at
hey, listen,
or whatever.
Listen, the feds threw Whitey Bulger into general population into a prison in West Virginia, and he got murdered. And
that's a fact.
Yeah, sure.
And granted, he's not wealthy like Trump was, but he was enough of a known figure.
Yeah.
To where he was in imminent danger. And when you find out how he was killed, I mean, these guys
was-
basically,
Yeah.
well, these guys basically took tube socks and filled them with padlocks, and they beat him about the face with these socks full of padlocks.
Yeah.
I always say that it'd be so painful.
You gotta
I always
stop.
say that.
I can't play with my eggplant right now, and you're just getting my fantasy world going with the idea of Trump being beaten with a sock full of padlocks in a prison shower.
Listen,
oh my
you
gosh.
don't even have to put padlocks
gosh.
in there. You can put you can put batteries in there if you want to. I mean, come on.
Well, and
Let's not be
Put some
animals.
bottles of Trump vodka in there and just beat him over the head with it. Now I'm inciting violence. Sorry, Twitter. I'm doing it.
Well, so Harvey Weinstein was just found guilty today on that second round of sexual charges. So maybe he and Trump can be cellies.
Right.
Yeah, that would be perfect, dude. I'd love it.
Yeah.
There is something to prison justice, you know. I've said a lot, you know, some sex offenders, convict them, sentence them to prison for a week. You don't need to sentence them for 20 years. The prison will take care of them. Just get them behind bars long enough.
But Jared Fogle only got beat up once so far, and while I read this article about him the other day. He's only gotten beaten up once in prison.
Well,
right now, he's
got a foot long. He's very popular in prison.
But he's working in the kitchen and yeah, I'm just saying, that not everybody gets.
Yeah, I get it.
Gets it that bad.
I don't want to go too far with my political fantasies here. I don't think Trump's ending up in some terrible prison. It'd be wonderful. He deserves it, obviously. But like I said, just if we could take him off the ballot for the rest of humanity, that would just be wonderful. So we'll see what happens.
Following Carrie Lake.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, talk about a whiny bitch. I mean,
Dude,
I'm finding it humorous to watch her throw little temper tantrums.
It's crazy, dude. She's obviously lost her marbles, if she ever had them. I don't know. But, she's off the charts right now. The latest thing that I saw, she was running like a big rally or something. She said, and she thought it would be very clever, and the audience didn't take it like she thought they would. She was like, "You know what I identify as? I won." She said, "You know what my pronouns are? I won." It was like, one is a verb, first of all.
Touche. Right.
Like, you are so fucking pandering to a certain group of people, man. They got someone elected before, but let it go, lady.
Again, much like Trump, is Carrie Lake, does she know she's lying, or is she such a narcissist that she actually believes her bullshit? I have to think they both. Yeah, I have to think they both know they're bullshitting us.
Yeah,
but just relying on
I think the lines get cloudy. When the deeper you get into this, the lines become cloudy. But you know what you're doing. You know you're pandering.
I would hope,
Yeah.
but a true narcissist may not. I just think they're playing narcissists, though.
But I think both can actually be true. Like you can be bullshitting everybody, but at the same time, sort of kind of believe the bullshit that you're putting out there.
Well, we were talking last week about internal and external validation. I think for people like that receive external validation so much that, like you said, whatever sort of external validation you can start to receive in large sums feels good. So you just keep doing it and doing it.
Yeah.
Corey Feldman is a great example of this. Okay, and I know that that's an interesting twist to take, but Corey Feldman, for the last 6 or 7 years at the very least, has been very odd with his musical career. Have you followed it all?
I have, because I have friends in Seattle who actually went to the Showbox to go see his performance.
Okay.
God, no. I have not been following it all.
Yeah.
I love poor Corey Haim, but go ahead.
You've never watched one of his performances, even online, like a clip of it?
Years ago, but I'm not following his career, to answer your question, but I've seen some of his pathetic musical attempts. Yeah, sure.
Corey Feldman live performances of rock and roll have become somewhat of a phenomenon.
It's a phenomenon.
Like, people are actually following this guy like they used to follow the Dead or Fish or Dave, like they're really following him.
Much smaller numbers, I would assume.
Yes, much smaller numbers. Oh, let me see if I can find this, dude. I got to find this for you. He was at a show, and all of his shows are so uncomfortable to watch.
That's what makes them fun.
Yeah, and it does make them fun in the sense of like, hey, look at the guy who needs medicine on the stage. I mean, I don't know if we're supposed to be laughing, but we are. So, is this name the right thing? Hold on, dude. I will set this clip up, but let me make sure I got the clip here.
Yes, please.
Talk amongst yourselves for 4 seconds, please.
Who's your favorite Corey, Brewski? Haim or Feldman?
Corey Hart, actually.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I will say, though, the Coreys were in one of the classic 80s movies with Nicole Eggert where they were just abusing the crap out of her. You remember that? I don't remember what it was called.
License to Drive?
No. This was some like late night Cinemax later in all their careers. It was.
Oh, okay.
Google it, I guess. Nicole Eggert and the Coreys.
Oh,
she was nicking a lot in that. Is that okay for me to say?
Yeah, no, License to Drive.
I was young when it came out.
Had what's her name in it? Who was the girl that was Roller Girl in Boogie Nights? Oh, Heather Graham. She was in License to Drive. Let's see. I'm gonna look up Nicole Eggert.
Please do. And the Coreys. This was a saucy movie. It's where this
Nicole
was like
Eggert
post Charles in Charge.
sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I
this
see.
was when she fell from grace.
I see one called Blown Away.
Yeah, that could be it. Sounds
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. Because it says Blown Away as a 1993 erotic thriller film directed by Brenton Spencer and starring Corey Haim, Nicole Eggert, and Corey Feldman.
Yeah,
So,
that's gotta
yes.
be it. Yeah. So
What's this? When it's an erotic thriller, that gives credence to your her being all nude and everything. The whole,
Right.
you know.
movies.
Although Nicole Eggert years later has said that one Scott Baio actually sexually assaulted her on the set of Charles in Charge.
Not
he was
Scott
in charge.
Baio. He's such a nice boy.
I
Yeah.
can't believe that.
Well, but then Feldman, I thought Nick was going to go here. Feldman has leveled sexual abuse act allegations against Charlie Sheen on Corey Haim when they were filming the movie Lucas.
Jeez, that's a complicated love triangle right there. But okay.
Yeah. But of course, Haim's not alive. And then you don't know. I mean, Feldman is so whacked in the head that you don't know if what he's telling is the actual truth.
I would agree with that. Yes. Who knows?
And not that Charlie Sheen is, a paragon of virtue or anything like that. But I mean,
Yeah, none of them have been sober since 1980 something. So
yeah, but the thing about it though is, I mean, you're not going to go and just automatically believe what Corey Feldman is saying that Corey Haim told him that he was abused sexually by Charlie Sheen.
Well, you got to
Scott
be.
Baio was a bit of a dirtbag though. So
Scott Baio definitely is.
Corey Feldman, dude, was the only one who actually stepped up and said Michael Jackson was very nice to me. He did not touch me inappropriately. So if he's going to talk about sexual abuse, you think he'd be telling the truth. This is what I will say. I got this clip, okay? So Corey Feldman was at his latest rock and roll appearance. He is married to Courtney Feldman. Are you aware, Brewski?
I am. And weren't they married by MC Hammer?
That's correct.
wow.
Keeping this even more normal. I'm going to play this, and let me tell you that the clip is they're at a rock and roll show, of course. So tell me if it's too hot. All right.
Okay.
This is his wife, who is now kind of part of the band, and this is him introducing her and having her do a little solo at his latest show. She is a piano player, and this is it.
And ladies and gentlemen, she's talented too. She plays keyboards, synthesizer. She's our VJ, our DJ, our ballerina, our health coach, and of course, her lovely wife. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mrs. Courtney Feldman!
Sweet of him.
Listen.
She does not know how to play the piano.
Not at all.
Dude, he
What
is
the hell was
on
that?
stage. I mean, she's
Like
playing
two little
piano,
fingers
dude.
going back and forth on the piano. Just,
Oh my gosh, dude. And people in the audience are just dying. It's become more of a Jerry Springer show of like, yeah, I mean, we got to watch the train wreck here, but he is trying to keep the audience entertained as she's doing this piano solo, if you could call it that. And he's like doing his weird dancing around, like he's really feeling it. And I'm like, dude, my niece at 3 played that song.
right.
I know she did. So yeah,
That's
Corey
painful.
Feldman's off the charts, dude.
Now,
I think if you were ever an actor, you should just be disqualified from being a musician.
Bruce Willis.
oh, wait a minute though.
Yeah, find me. I mean, I'm stretching my brain. Give me a good example.
Bruce
Eddie
Willis,
Murphy.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. My girl likes to party all the time. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
an example.
that's awesome with Rick James. Fuck yeah.
I was gonna say somebody wrote that song. I mean, but
Charlie Murphy wrote it, dude. Come on.
No, Rick James.
If
wrote
that's
that,
the best
actually.
you can come up with, then I'll stand by my original statement. But
Okay, you know what? It won him $100,000 from Richard Pryor.
okay, well,
Oh, how about Bette Midler, Barbara Streisand?
yeah. Which was first though? Were they actors first? I thought those women were singers that never really took off and then got into acting and then went back.
Brewski's looking it up right now, dude.
Because yeah, your Bruce Willis's, your Kevin Bacon's, your Keanu Reeves, your Jeremy Renner's. It's all
Listen,
embarrassing to watch.
Return of Bruno was a fantastic album. It was highly underrated.
Well, who is? I don't know what you're talking about. Who
That's
is it?
Bruce Willis's album.
Oh, come on. It was a fantastic album.
He did a great version of Respect Yourself, you know?
You almost said that with a straight face. You
Yeah,
know?
right.
Yeah, well, you know, it wasn't exactly Staple Singers-esque. I get that, but, you know. I mean,
But you
I'm
think
seriously
it was
trying to think of
good?
an example of somebody who's done it.
Okay,
Well-
who did we say? Bette Midler?
Yeah, was she? Because wasn't she a backup singer for somebody famous, and then she got into acting? Like she had some background in music first, I thought, but the fuck do I know?
Bette Midler first appeared on Broadway, so kind of acting, singing, right?
Yeah,
So she kind of
That-
did both.
that's way
I mean,
more
she's-
credible.
Yeah. All right. Who else did I say?
find
you
me a
said Barbra
white guy.
Streisand.
Oh yeah, Barbara Streisand. Well,
You
Barry
know-
Manilow, dude.
No, but because he didn't
Wasn't-
act. Although
right.
he did prior to his recording career, he did act. Yeah, exactly. He wrote
did
a lot
act,
of
dude.
He wrote a lot of jingles.
Yeah, he was.
and
he
he
wrote the
also
Dr. Pepper
acted
thing.
before he sang.
He wrote the Oscar Mayer Baloney song. He wrote "I'm Stuck on Band-Aid Brand" because Band-Aid's stuck on me.
I think he did Dr. Pepper, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
But,
Sergeant
you know-
Pepper, Dr.
but-
Pepper.
You know actually who has done who actually, and I'm not a big country blues guy, but I recently heard Kiefer Sutherland's album, and it doesn't sound too bad actually.
Yeah,
No, I mean that sincerely.
I
You
know,
give
but
it-
if that's the best you can say, hey, it's not so
Doesn't
bad.
sound too bad. Yeah.
but I said that because that's not my kind of music.
Right.
But what about Barry Manilow, Harness? I mean, he being
about
an
him?
actor
Wasn't-
before he was a singer.
Was he?
No.
I'm
Yes,
not aware
he
of
was
that.
an actor before he was a singer.
what?
Whiskey.
And what?
He acted like
He
a
was in
fucking
some of those
idiot,
TV
dude.
commercials,
Huh?
but he was in some of the TV commercials, I think, for his jingles. But I don't think he was an actor.
Listen, he did act like a fucking idiot before
Oh,
he
well,
sang.
that could be.
He did, okay.
So you
acted
said,
like he-
yeah, you did all that for a joke? Come on.
He
No,
acted
I'm
like
not
he was
joking,
heterosexual
dude.
for a lot of years, but I don't think that counts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would challenge you to find me a white guy that has gone from acting to musician and done it well.
Why do they have to be white? What is that all about?
Well, I'm disqualifying Eddie Murphy because he had one hit. So okay, because when I think of the actors that go into music, it's all the
Oh.
white dudes. It's the Kevin Bacons. It's it's.
You
Bruce
know who
Willis.
actually
How about
who had a
Shaq?
well,
How about
Well, yeah.
Shaq? Is that what you said?
Shaq did that one song with the Fushnikins, "Can We Rock?"
Yeah, and
Um,
he rapped quite a bit. He's got quite
And
a
he was
prolific
awful.
rapping.
He was terrible in that. Absolutely terrible.
Well, he didn't say, "Tell me a good person," Brewski. He said, "Tell me a person."
Okay, I've got one for you, but it's not a white guy.
Okay, Will Smith.
No.
Okay, that might be a
Jamie-
good example. I don't know. He was kind of both. for-
Jamie Foxx actually had an album called "Peep This," and he actually if you're into R&B, it sounds really good. He did.
I have heard him, and he was not embarrassing, but still, like, what were his hits? How many albums did he sell? How many concert tours was
behind
he
the
selling out?
scenes, he's done some great things, especially, dude. I mean,
And again, like the Eddie Murphy thing, if you get the right producer to write a hit song, you can plug anyone in. He did just happen to be Eddie Murphy. I don't think Eddie Murphy wrote jack shit on that song. I consider a musician somebody who writes music. Just call me crazy.
So in other words, then anybody that sang before the singer-songwriter area are not musicians at all.
Well,
so your Sinatras.
I know what you're saying. Like Motown was a hit factory, and a bunch of but those were all musicians writing songs for each other, and then they decided who would be the best to go out and present it to the public. But
I mean, Sinatra didn't play any instruments. He was just a singer.
A singer's a
bad
musician.
example, Harness. All kinds of people are artists that don't write their own songs. Some are great at writing, some are not.
I just don't have as much respect for somebody who needs songwriters. If you write with people, that's one thing. But if somebody's writing your songs for you, that's lame. And singers are musicians. I'm not taking that away from them.
Well, but you know what though? There are a lot of people that make a lot of money from writing songs. I mean, you look at the guy who wrote all those songs for Katy Perry. And he had something like 3 or 4 top 10 hits in one year. And he made like hundreds of millions of dollars.
No, I get it. Songwriting is they're the musicians, really. They're the ones writing the songs. They just have somebody better sculpted to go out and present it to the public. But I read something a couple of years ago. There was some phenomenon where when 21 Pilots won a Grammy, they were the only artist in like umpteen years going back that only had one songwriter on their songs. It's become so common to get 100 people involved in every goddamn song.
Yeah.
And I just, I kind of frown on it. And I know it does go back far. Motown really was that too. They had a whole committee of people writing those songs. So I get it's not reinventing the wheel, but it's really blown out of proportion in the last 20, 30 years. So I just think it's kind of lame. Now, there's bands like Aerosmith, by the way. They were obviously a rock band writing all their songs all those years, but they became such a huge commodity that at one point they started hiring songwriters because they needed to keep the train rolling forward. Well, they were running out of good ideas, but at least they had 30 years of hits first and then went to songwriters.
Yeah.
All of the modern Aerosmith stuff, I don't want to lose my, that's all songwriter bullshit.
Yeah.
Everything after the Pump album, they had songwriter stuff in. And I don't know, I take you down a notch, that's all.
As much as everybody says Dream On was the best song of theirs, I still say that, to me, Mamakin is their best song ever.
That's a great one, yeah. I don't know if it's best per se, but yeah, I mean, Aerosmith, long-running band. That's why I give a lot of credit to bands like Aerosmith, Metallica, that whether you love them or hate them, I mean, 30, 40 years of writing songs and staying relevant.
Metallica is not a metal band anymore, Steve. They haven't been for a long time.
We've already gone.
Honestly, though, have you heard their
not a metal band? Hard rock, yes, not metal.
Put Brewski back.
It's a fine line right there.
Come on.
I'm telling you, the Metallica's latest album, they went back to their old roots. I mean,
not metal.
Well, then you've changed the definition of metal over the years. They invented.
No, actually, no, because there's all sorts of watch Metal Evolution from VH1. There's all sorts of subgenres of metal because you've got speed metal, you've got new metal, all that sort of thing. They're more hard rock now,
I would argue that during the Black Album, the Reload, all that stuff, that you're correct. But their newest stuff sounds more like And Justice for All than it does the Black Album. Just saying. Check it out.
Guys, and
find it on Spotify.
Steve, how does Lars Ulrich's cock taste? I mean, honestly.
Well, he does the double cock drum for me, so I think.
I'm just saying. I mean, honestly,
dude, I respect the hell out of Metallica for not only sustaining the career they have, but
how can you say that, Brewski? How does his cock taste? It's his favorite band. Well, why do you roll your eyes at that? I mean, what do you mean about? What do you mean? How does this?
How does Rob Halford's balls taste? I mean,
listen, but you know what? Though? I'll actually call out some of the shit that Halford's been doing. That I've been really disappointed in. I've never once heard you say anything critical about Metallica. Everything you've ever said to me has always been positive.
I'm a positive, glass half full kind of guy. I see the positives of Metallica.
Skin, dude. We could talk about the fact that he's got pock marks and didn't treat his acne the best as a teen.
Who?
James. I mean, he's got. Well,
Oh no, I'm not talking
pockmarks.
about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what they
Oh.
do musically and that sort of thing. Because there's a
Brewski.
lot of. I mean, we all just need to, I don't know, just be more, I think, real about our favorite bands. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all pie in the sky and everything they do isn't perfect. You know?
Yeah, I'm not trying to paint that picture that they are. I mean, the Beatles wrote some lousy songs too that I skip on the albums, and Metallica's got plenty of songs I skip. But I'm looking at the entirety of their work, of what they've done over decade after decade, spending the entire 80s just bucking the norms and writing brilliant songs that no one had ever conceived of. And, you know, my criticisms of Metallica would be when they did flip to the more mainstream side. I respect that an artist is allowed to evolve and do what they want to do. Is it?
But
my
they're not
favorite?
metal anymore. Then you're not metal. Don't
who
tell me you're a
cares?
metal band. But
Did I
because
say that actually? I don't recall ever saying that.
No. But that I'm talking about them. Is don't try to say you're still metal when you're hard rock. You know what I mean?
I don't know. You're splitting hairs. It's semantics. Metallica is a heavy metal band for sure.
Not anymore. They're not.
But you could say that going all the way back to the first album. They have softer stuff throughout their career. But of course, they're the gods of metal. I mean,
No, they're not.
oh, come on. Metallica?
Not the gods of metal. Nope.
Who is that? Who does not owe their
Halford.
career
Rob
to Metallica?
Halford is the god of metal.
You say the public doesn't say so.
I believe so. I believe the
You
public
believe
would say
so.
that.
How does his
no,
dick feel in your mouth?
but fantastic, actually.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So there you go,
maybe
Nick.
just
I'm
say
not
that.
afraid. Okay, I'm not afraid to say it.
You're not
I will
afraid to say
compare
what,
Metallica's.
dude? Let's inspect this, Steve. You're not afraid to say what?
Nick, obviously you want to jump on this and defend Steve, and that's
I
fine.
don't.
You
I
guys
don't
are best
understand
friends
the
and buddies.
argument.
I get that. That's fine. You can defend them all you want.
Brewski,
Well, he
I'm
can't,
asking
but
an
yeah.
honest question.
No, forget it. I'm done.
Someone get me
Listen.
some Cheetos.
Jeez.
If we're comparing careers, Metallica dwarfs every hard rock heavy metal band on the planet by 1,000 miles.
But ask people who is the metal god, and they will not say Metallica.
Oh, I bet if you did a survey of the masses, you think Rob Halford is the #1 metal god singer of all time?
Absolutely.
Am I allowed to talk without sounding biased?
If you survey them at a Judas Priest concert, yes.
No,
Yes,
just
Nick,
in
go ahead.
general.
Oh, come on. All right, go ahead, Nick. Let me Google greatest heavy metal band of all time.
Listen, Brewski, first of all, calm down.
I'm fine, Nick.
Listen, I love you. I'm not.
No, but you'll always back Steve.
I
I know
always
that.
back Steve. Steve's
Yes,
been
you
a fucking
do. Stop
asshole.
it.
He was
Stop
calling
it.
me a
Listen.
chomo 2 hours ago.
I know that, but Steve, anytime he gets an opportunity, he'll back you. So don't worry about it. It's fine.
Oh, I don't think so. I think he would love to throw me under the bus.
I don't think so.
Ask me, dude. Why don't you ask me? I'm the only one that can tell you.
Because I know what you're going to say. You're going to say anything that's opposite of what I'm going to say.
I'm
so
not,
it just
dude.
proves me.
I'm
Yes,
not.
it will.
You're being presumptuous here, dude.
No, I'm not. I know. I've been around you guys. I know.
All right, I'll just be quiet then, Bruce.
No,
I
it's
don't
fine.
want to upset you. I don't want to upset you because you're thinking you know what I'm going to say. Listen, I want you to listen with your ears and not your mouth for 2 seconds. I want you to know that this is an invalid discussion because it depends on who you're asking, right?
Of course.
I mean, if we're going to ask just by monetary dollars, that's the only way we can look at it. Brewski, fuck me, dude. What's your problem right now?
Because you guys say that everything to you guys is monetary dollars and that sort of thing. Okay, but when you ask most metal fans who the god of metal is, they will tell you Rob Halford. That's what I'm saying. And it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff there. It's just when you picture that phrase, God of metal, they say Rob Halford. That's what I'm saying.
All right. So here are just 2 articles I've just found. I mean, and neither of us are right according to these articles. So from Loudwire, top 50 metal bands of all time. Number 3, Metallica. Number 2, Iron Maiden. Number 1, Black Sabbath. From Music Grotto, top 55 metal bands of all time. Number 3, Iron Maiden. Number 2, Slayer. Number 1, Metallica. Let me find another one. 100 greatest metal bands of all time. Number 3, Metallica. Number 2, Iron Maiden. Number 1, Black Sabbath. I'm just going through random articles.
You said God of Metal. Did you not say God of Metal?
Sure.
Okay, that's what I'm going on. You said God of Metal.
Uh-huh. So you think it's Rob Halford?
I do.
Let's see who the God of Metal is, according to... I mean, as Nick said, all of these like top whatever bands are all completely subjective, so...
Yeah, I get it.
So let's
I
see
get
here. Who is the God of Metal? Hephaestus. That's some Greek thing, apparently.
Yeah, I looked it up too.
So let's see here. Well, metal gods. Judas Priest. We've got 10 metal gods cooler than Satan.
I see one, but this is more people answering. It says there's a trinity: Rob Halford, Bruce Dickinson, and Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, this is all subjective.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
I don't quite understand why you're getting so wound up on the topic, but
because Metallica is no longer a metal band.
I don't understand where you're pulling that from, and and what does it mean though? So they used to be a great metal band, but now they're a great hard rock band. I mean, if that's what we're debating,
that's what I'm talking about. They've moved over to hard rock. That's what I'm saying.
But are you aware though? Seriously, have you heard the last album? Are you aware that they moved back to their old roots?
You can't go back and forth.
Why not?
Because either you're a metal band or you're not a metal band.
Well, then they are, because they are one of the greatest of all time. So they obviously, you can't get rid of Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, and Justice for All, Master of Puppets.
But you could say used to be, and then now they moved it to hard rock.
When was the last time Judas Priest had a hit?
Steve, that's not what I'm talking about.
So they used to be, but they're not anymore.
They still are. The God of Metal is Rob Halford. But
listen, I get that that's a title that he was dubbed upon, but that's just a nickname he came up with.
No, it's not.
Well, it is. So let's not use that nickname. If we're talking about the great metal bands of all time, obviously Metallica is going to be in almost every top 10 list, if not every top 3.
Steve, you're right, Steve. You're right. Is that happy? Does that make you happy?
Well, I guess, sure.
Okay, there you go. Now I'm done. Okay, you're right, Steve. Metallica is the greatest metal band of all time, and Lars Ulrich is the greatest drummer of all time. No one comes close to him at all.
Well, Bonham, Lars, and Dave Abruzzese probably are the three greatest rock drummers of all time. Yeah.
No, you can't say that, Steve. Because obviously Metallica has to be number one in everything. So Lars is better than Bonham and all the rest of them. So.
You're asking me my opinion. I'm giving it to you. Take it down.
No. You're saying Metallica's the best at everything. So,
Okay. I don't know why this is going off the rails. Like, I don't know why my opinion is bothering you so much. Lars Ulrich is absolutely one of the greatest drummers of all time. It's completely subjective, and I don't buy into this notion of ranking people that way. But I'm just pulling random articles from music things and see how they ranked it for the sake of this argument. But of course, Lars would tell you that Bonham is the greatest drummer of all time. I would probably tell you that Lars is the greatest drummer of all time. Dave Abruzzese from Pearl Jam is probably my number 2, and Bonham probably is my number 3. These are my lists. And, of course, Metallica is a metal band. I don't care if they evolved or shaped over the years. And, of course, you can go back and forth. That was my original point about Metallica, that you're allowed to evolve as an artist. You don't have to stay locked into 80s butt metal just because that was your genre back then.
I wouldn't say what they played was butt metal back then.
No, I didn't either. But Judas Priest gets kind of close. Oh, now I've done it. And a hush falls over the crowd. Listen, the fun of music is that it's up to everyone's opinion. It's art, okay? So if you want to say that Judas Priest is the greatest metal band of all time, that's your opinion. That's fine. I'm giving you mine. This is the fun of having our show, right? That we get to express our opinions and talk and not to stare at the fucking camera and annoy the shit out of me.
What? I'm letting you finish what you're saying. I'm not interrupting you.
I just left the gap there for you to jump in.
So. No. I'm trying not to interrupt you. That's all. I'm trying to make sure that, it's your show, Steve. I mean, I need to, keep myself, dialed back a bit. So, yeah.
Sure. Listen, it's all three of us, obviously. And
I'm not,
as we've discussed before.
I don't want to back anyone up.
Part of the
Go
fun here is expressing our opinions and having these debates, but let's keep it within context here. I mean, obviously these are opinions; they're not right or wrong. But if we want to go to the interweb and see who other people have ranked as the greatest metal bands of all time, then I didn't see Judas Priest on any of those top 3 lists. I saw Metallica on all of them.
Yeah, you're right, Steve. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I'm
Well,
wrong.
I'm right about
really,
what I just said.
I'm really sorry about that. I'm sorry I dragged us down this
Don't
morass
have to
of
be sorry.
negativity. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just
accept
want you to
my,
know I'm sorry.
make sure you accept my apology, and I mean that sincerely.
You don't need to apologize. This
Well,
is
I have already, so that's fine.
the fun of what we're doing here. But
Yeah.
And I don't think Nick just blindly backs me, by the way. I think he
I
looks
think he
for any
does.
opportunity to poke at me.
No,
I mean, again, we started this whole show off where I was trying to say I'm not a child molester. Nick was like, a little bit. So I don't consider that blind backing of me. He was upset I edited him out of context to agree with me.
I disagree on that too.
And now he doesn't even want to talk. So
Well, I'm sorry, Nick. I really am.
I've been banished, dude. I've been
Oh,
banished. by
stop
yourself.
it.
I have. I don't want to come off as I'm just backing Steve. I back you all the fucking time, you selfish bastard.
Nick, would you like an apology as well? Because I'm really
I don't
sorry.
want an apology. I feel it'll be insincere at this point. I feel like
Nick, Nick, I would never be insincere with you. You know that.
Listen, this is what I do know. I know you love me, Brewski. You know, I hope you know that I love you. But I don't know I don't know where it came from, dude. You know, I love Steve. You know, I love you. I would lay down on train tracks for the both of you. I don't know where it comes from.
yeah. Listen, we all need to be able to take some punches on the show. I mean, you shit all over Dave Matthews last week, and Nick did not go off on the deep end on you. Because we're allowed to have our opinions here.
I generally keep any of that stuff to myself about that because I know that's something that Nick really loves. You know what I mean? And
well, I appreciate you not filtering it for me.
Well, no, but I mean, but you don't have things behind you to show your love for Metallica like Nick has for Dave Matthews Band. See, that's a different level of fandom. You know what I mean? And I also know that Nick's traveled quite a bit to see them and that sort of thing. So that's kind of why I try to make sure that I don't cross that line with Nick, you know?
Well,
I respect that and understand it, Brewski. Thank you. Brewski's not gonna talk shit about motorcycles while he's talking to you, Steve.
Oh well, geez, I can't do that.
See? So
although I'm still waiting for Steve to get that thing running.
Yeah, that's
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, as soon as the show hits it, then that thing will get fixed. But otherwise, yeah.
Is that an actual goal of yours to put a running motor in that bad boy someday?
That was the whole reason I got it. It was not to make a lamp out of it. I'll tell you
I
that.
thought you let the dream go, though.
Well, kind of. It was the dream of a married guy that had disposable income and time on the weekends to go do shit like that. And all that is in my deep, dark past at this point. So, yeah, I don't know when that thing's ever going to get running.
Yeah, well, it's looking great as a lamp until that point.
Indeed it is. So
hey,
at least we
Steve,
have
what's that
going.
microphone that sits on your window seal there? Is that on your window seal or?
It's on top of some audio gear back there. That was a gift from some guy that blindly supports me all the time.
Does it work, though?
No, it does not work.
It stopped working? I thought we had it working, dude. This is Brewski. This is a microphone. This is a microphone.
You
What's
used
it
to be
called?
able to record into it, right?
Yeah, you used to be
it's called the
able to hit
message mic.
Message mic. So you used to be able to like record 10 seconds worth of audio into it, and then it would play it back to you.
Whenever you push the button.
Yes. Yeah, you'd record a little thing, and then, I can play it back. I hope there's not batteries in this thing still. They've got to be, like, acid eroded by now.
Yeah, you should check that, dude, because I think that worked when we got it. And it actually, that one is so old. I think it's from the 60s, but it ran on a ribbon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like a radio station promotional thing or something? I don't know.
I don't know. They sell them. No, I don't think it was a radio station promotional item. Speaking of
my
which,
studio, I don't have any. You're right. I don't have any Metallica represented here. I mean, I have guitars and drums. I do have the Doors hanging over here. Ironically, I talked about Jim Morrison today.
Hey, dude, I'll send you a solid Metallica poster if you send me that KBSG elevator plaque.
No.
Listen,
Did you steal it out of the building?
Yeah, last night of the building.
Will that be mine if you die? Like, it's going to me, right? If
Sure,
I
of course.
outlive you.
As long as Fastlane doesn't get here before you. Yeah,
Wait a minute,
But
didn't they only have like 2 floors?
So at the Minor Avenue building, you had to take the elevator to floor like 18 or 19, and then there was a private elevator to go to the top floor. And that's what that sign is saying, elevator to KBSG is this way. And when we moved out of that building, the last shift was the overnight shift, and that was me. And the building had been gutted by the time I was off air, but that sign was still there. So I snuck down on my way out with the screwdriver and took it with me.
Oh, because I was only ever in the Eastlake building. That's why I was asking about only having 2 floors. And
Brisky, you would have loved that minor building. In fact, I could see your Capitol Hill apartment from that from the old KBSG studios.
Oh, okay.
It was very similar to the one across the street, the Twin Toasters that we were at for the Buzz. It was the same concept. We had the top floor all to the radio station, and there was this big deck out there that you could, see the whole skyline of Seattle. It was really cool. But yeah, that one had a private elevator that went to the top, and that sign was hanging in the hallway showing you where it was.
Always been jealous of that sign, dude. I mean, I'm happy for you that you have it. I'm glad that it lives within my world. But
right?
Yeah, that was a good find. That was a good take.
I appreciate that. There was a KBSG reunion a few years back that I did not go to, but I posted on the Facebook post where everyone look what I have. And a whole bunch of people commented like, "Well, how did you get that? Where did that?" We're like, "Yeah, I was smart enough to bring a screwdriver on my last shift in that building." So that's why I have it.
I have. They had black and white, big glossy photos of the jocks all behind the receptionist desk. Were all like the main day big glossy 8x10s of the jocks, and I have the old Danny Holiday picture. I took that off the wall, and I found a big box of reel-to-reels in my garage. That who knows what's on them, dude. I know there's a lot of rock and roll time machine.
I do have a reel-to-reel player back here. That's what that microphone's sitting on top of. So,
is it still working?
I haven't used it in forever, but I assume it's still working. Yeah, that thing's built like a tank. It's solid state.
Yeah,
next time I'm in town, I'll bring a few of the reels. We'll try them out because I only have one that'll play the 6-inch reels, and these are full pancakes.
Yes. No, this is 1/4 inch, I believe. Yeah,
well,
it's funny. Speaking of my, go ahead.
As long as you clean the heads, it should be okay.
Yeah, this thing has been dropped off buildings. I mean, it could kill someone. Seriously, it weighs like 100 pounds. But we were talking, I forget all the shit I have in the studio. That's why I was looking around. But we were talking a couple of weeks ago about the 60s Batman show, and that no true comic book fan holds that up as some sort of, marquee part of the Batman legacy. But that it was a big pop culture thing and all that. I get it. And Nick, you had praised the Batmobile. And literally, within an arm's reach here, I have the goddamn Batmobile sitting here on my desk.
Yeah, see?
I forget the amount of tchotchkes I have in this place.
That's a Lincoln Futura, by the way.
Is that what? And George Barris did that? Is that what we talked about, Brewski?
Yeah, so
with the Lincoln.
The Lincoln Futura was actually a concept car that the Ford Motor Company had built, and they weren't going to do anything with it. And so when Barris had some cars in the custom car cavalcade, that's when he got a hold of that there, and he was contracted to make the Batmobile, and that's how he got it.
Did an excellent job on it, dude. I love the Batmobile. You had one sitting right there, Steven, which is why your wife gave you Batman wrapping paper for Christmas, dude. What was in that box, dude? Why haven't you told us that?
My wife? What are we talking about?
Yeah, the Valley Girl.
Oh, it was Spider-Man, not Batman, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Tell us what was in that box, dude. Your presents from the Valley Girl.
I hid it in my bedroom, actually, because I don't want the kids to see it. They're going to wonder, hey, Dad, who got you a gift? It was riddled full of nice, sweet things. There was a replica antique radio that apparently actually works. It's this little small thing. Nice. There was a bit of a theme because I just had the power go out here. We were in the dark for 24 hours. So there's like crossword puzzles. There's one of those rechargeable battery packs that you can plug your phone into.
Nice.
A bunch of batteries, because I was telling her, like, shit, I don't have any batteries. I've got flashlights, but somebody stole my batteries along with half my other possessions, so don't have those anymore. She got me a bunch of these little LED puck lights that you can like mount on things. She got me chocolate. She got me coffee. She got me like.
She got you a ton of stuff, dude.
Yeah, it's like survive for a day of snow to locked inside. So, and yeah, it was wrapped in Spider-Man wrapping paper. There was a Spider-Man cup in there. I mean,
yeah, and will you reciprocate?
Yes.
That doesn't sound very encouraging.
No, listen, I don't want to get painted as the nice guy thing, and as my therapist will tell you, I like to do nice things that no one knows about. So I've already done a nice thing that I know if I tell you guys about, you're going to be like, God damn it, Harness, it's not everyone's problems aren't yours to solve. So,
well, now you gotta tell us.
No,
now you gotta tell us.
I respect Steve. If Steve thinks that that's something he needs to keep to himself on that, then that's fine.
Well, you're better than me, dude. I gotta know.
Well,
you're different. You know that's different. He can tell you.
Listen, I'm going to buy her some little things this week. I had sort of miscalculated. I forgot I had kids this week. My ex-wife and I staggered our schedule over this last month, and I forgot the kids are here this week. So I was planning on seeing her this week and giving her something then. Nothing major. I just have some little, little things I've been thinking about. But it's important to me that children get presents at the holidays, right? And so I helped her out to make sure her kid gets something good. That's all.
Yeah. Well,
good for you.
That's a great gift. Santa rolling back into the forecast of days of old without. Are you going to show up as Santa? You should show up as Santa, dude.
No, I think that's a chomo move for sure. So
no, it's not.
And by the way, everything can be apparently. So what do I know anymore? But no, we're not. We haven't crossed that threshold. Like children are still in a protected category. That doesn't happen until exclusivity and all that stuff. So
listen, the kid doesn't know it's you, obviously, dude. Come on, you're Santa.
Yeah, I guess I'll be the one to blow the Santa myth. So
yeah, probably
scar this poor kid for life.
Listen, as long as you're not blowing Santa, then we're okay.
Your mom was an all-star last weekend. Ho, 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 ho.
Yeah, you can blow Santa. I always thought that song, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, is kind of funny. It's basically saying, the kid doesn't understand that Santa Claus is the dad, right? So basically you're saying mom's a whore is what the song means.
Oh, I never thought about that at all.
Well, that's what it is. I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus. It's the dad dressed up as Santa Claus kissing the mom. But the kid doesn't know that. So from the kid's perspective, the song is basically saying my mom is a whore.
Oh, see, no. I took that as the mom actually was kissing Santa Claus.
Listen, this is how I thought of it. The mom is kissing. It is the father. You're correct. But she's kissing her husband, and the child sees them kissing and assumes she's kissing Santa. So
right. So mom's a whore.
Not a whore. No, she's
cheating on the dad with Santa. She's making out with Santa Claus. Mom's a whore. That's what
that depends. What kind of kiss are we talking about, though? Because she could have been giving him a kiss on the cheek, and that's not cheating.
I don't want my wife making out with the Easter Bunny, or
But that's not making out if you give someone a peck on the cheek.
Kissing Santa Claus, though, that's not.
But where am I missing this? The husband is Santa, and the wife knows it, and the husband knows it. The only one that doesn't know is the kid.
And that's what the song is being sung from the perspective of. I saw mommy kissing.
Yeah. So you think the kid thinks his mom's a whore?
Yes. I don't think the kid's making that assertion per se, but that's what you're saying. You see mommy kissing some other guy, like mom's a whore.
Wow.
Listen, me growing up, I was always the only redhead in my family. So there was always this joke of you're the milkman's kid. Ha ha ha. You're saying my mom's a whore. That's what that joke means. Mom's banging the milkman. Mom's making out with Santa Claus.
I get it.
You look way too much like your siblings for that to be real.
You think so, huh? I don't think so.
Well, Kelly, I think you look like Kelly. I mean, if I could tell. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said that name. Am I allowed? Yes, I think you two look alike.
I've never seen that. I don't know if anyone said that. I'm looking more and more like my dad. I do accept that nowadays. But yeah, I mean, the joke was there was no redheads in our family, so where did I come from? Well, I must be the milkman's son, and everyone always laughed. And I always thought, like, you're saying my mom fucked the milkman. Why is that funny?
You
I
took
don't
it
get
personally, huh?
Well, I'm just following it to its natural conclusion that if I'm the milkman's son, then my mom must be a whore. If mommy's making out with Santa Claus, she must be a whore. So I don't find it to be so cute and nostalgic.
As we get older and we understand all the secrets and cobwebs of our parents.
Not even when Michael Jackson sang it.
Yeah, God, no.
Steve played Michael Jackson. You know that. He loves Michael Jackson, dude.
I do remember
God rest
that.
his soul. No?
Yes. As a result of losing a bet, I played Michael Jackson. Yes.
I remember that.
I mean, listen, that was a legendary thing. I mean, I was proud of our achievement there. I was
Yeah,
not.
you and Ed downtown walking around.
I don't think Ed was with me. I was solo.
I think you were solo. You had a sandwich board on, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the audience's benefit, yeah, this was back in the early 2000s when Michael Jackson was on trial for molesting kids, and he was up on 10 counts of various acts of molestation. And so Nick and I had a bet. I bet he's got to be found guilty of one of the 10 at least, if not all 10. Bet was he's got to be guilty of at least one thing.
Gotta be.
And as we all know, he was found innocent somehow on all 10 counts.
Yeah.
So my punishment was I had to dress up like Michael Jackson. I had a sandwich board on that said, Michael Jackson is innocent, but I'm guilty of stupidity. And I walked around downtown Seattle live on the radio with the Vocal Minority crew.
Yep.
And I went to various businesses, establishments, and I actually got thrown out of the Pacific Place Mall by the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah. They thought I was weird, apparently, walking around dressed as Michael Jackson with a storyboard. And it got to the point where a security guard started escorting me out. And live on the radio, I'm trying to explain to the guy, like I dropped the Michael Jackson voice thing I was doing. Hey, dude, like we're live on the radio right now. This is a radio bit. And he did not believe me for a second. He ushered me to the curb right as the cops started pulling up. And I just beelined it down the street.
Good
and there were
thinking.
people honking their car, honking, listening to us. I mean, it was a phenomenal bit. And yeah, I give myself credit for following through with it. But yeah, I almost got arrested at the Pacific Place Mall.
Oh,
yeah, I'm
gosh.
surprised you did
This is
not.
what I will do for the show. I hope we all see the recurring theme of Steve taking, the slings and arrows, all for the sake of good entertainment and radio, whether it's being called a child molester or dressing up as a child molester. A lot of dots being connected here. So
I have all kinds of those. I still have those pictures of you, Steve, dressed up as Michael Jackson. We'll have to post those sometime.
I haven't seen those in forever, so yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, you have not? You don't have them?
No. I don't think I have almost any pictures from those days. I mean, maybe on some disc somewhere, but those were the days where if it was a digital camera, it was on some big memory card or whatever. So,
can you let me share my screen?
Go right ahead.
Thank you. All right.
You have them on this computer right now?
Well, I have them on my laptop, so here, I'm going to share this with you. Here we go.
It's Metallica Still Metal.
Yeah, I was doing some research trying to figure out what was going on. Here we go. Let me see. This is pulling up for you. Michael's innocent. I'm guilty of stupidity.
Wow. Hey, good memory on my part. Damn, look at that young, good-looking dude. Wow. That's funny. Yeah, you got to send me these pictures so I can include it on our videos here or post it. That's hilarious. I've got the black hat, the long hair, the sunglasses, one white glove, red jacket on, black pants.
Yeah.
That's classic, right in the Buzz Studios. With
Looking
their
good.
fancy artwork they hung up for us that someone printed off in the Jock Lounge there.
Yeah.
I have a great old photo of us that was a publicity shot for the Buzz website. The picture of us on the back deck.
On the deck out there. I think that's one of the only pictures I do still have.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I tried to chop Edgy out of it at one point to reshare. I think I did actually at one point. So yeah.
What did you do that for?
I think when there was some anniversary or some memory that came up about the Vocal Minority, and I thought I'd share it, and yeah, chopped that out. Sorry. Ed.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ed.
The ghost of Vocal Minority's past. So, All right, guys, we're about 18 minutes away from our 3-hour cutoff. We started a little late. I've got children to attend to at some point here. So,
Oh,
does
okay.
anyone have any parting words of wisdom, news articles we need to get to, anything else of the kind?
Well, there is that story about Mike Lee, the senator from Utah, who's actually trying to put forth a national ban on pornography.
Hold on, Nick. Can you stop sharing your screen? This is what we're recording right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Say that again, Brewski.
Yeah. So there's a story that I had grabbed for the show.
He's trying to ban pornography.
Yeah, as a matter of
Not just ban oxygen.
Yeah. So GOP Senator Mike Lee proposes bill that could ban access to internet porn in the United States.
I'd love to see his browser history, by the way. I'm sure he's got plenty on there.
Yeah, that'd be the real chomo guarantee.
He says, it says here that he wants to put forth the redefine obscenity. And then he says, quote, obscenity is not protected free speech under the First Amendment and is prohibited from interstate or foreign transmission under U.S. law. But obscenity is difficult to define, let alone prosecute, under the current Supreme Court test for obscenity. So he basically wants to, it's currently legal to produce porn in the U.S. He wants to make it so that you cannot do that any longer.
Yeah. First of all, obviously a hypocrite. Every guy looks at porn. Secondly, never going to happen in a zillion years. And yeah, I bet he's got some major porn stash going on all over the place, but trying to win some points.
You say that, dude, but you know what? After the last few years that we've had, I mean, I will not say like never going to happen ever again. I won't. Because
Well, here's why I would say that. Because anyone, the Supreme Court people, the Trumps, the Republicans, they all love porn too. They don't love gay marriage. They don't love abortion, but they love porn. I mean,
but they'll
come
still
on.
have access to it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they could shut it down for all of us, and they'll be the ones that'll still be able to look at it, and they'll be fine with that.
That would be the greatest backlash in political history. You want to talk about both sides uniting for a common good. Bring back our porn. Like,
Yeah.
hey.
I just don't have any faith at all in this country anymore that we are that far away from Handmaid's Tale, dude. I think we could head there. And I used to think, oh, that's crazy. That's a movie. That's a TV show.
Yeah.
I think we could get there, dude, to be honest. And
Isn't the crux, though, of the Handmaid's Tale of turning women into sex toys, basically, baby-making factories?
not sex toys, but just breeding machines, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, breeding's an excuse to get down there, so...
yeah. Well, not on. Have you ever watched The Handmaid's Tale? No,
No.
obviously not. No, you should watch that, dude. Have you watched it, Brewski?
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, you should watch it. I think you'd actually probably like that show, Steve. You should check
Probably
it out.
would. It's on Hulu, right? It's on something I
Yes.
don't have. That's why I've never watched it.
Okay. I'll give you my login when no one's listening.
Of course. Of course. I have heard the notion before that porn makes men violent, like sexual predators. I would argue it's the exact opposite.
100%, dude.
That if men
100%.
didn't have that outlet, that we probably would be out there banging everything, raping everything. But, porn keeps all that at bay. It gives you a healthy outlet to express in your home alone.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of guys out there that couldn't get laid if they tried. And people always say, well, just try harder, like work on flirting better. Like either they're incapable or just don't want to. And porn is a perfectly good way to just get that out of your system and go back to daily life. If you ban porn, this country, this world, this planet would just freak the fuck out.
Well, it'll really freak out for the kids of the new age who don't have access to a spank bank, dude. If you don't have access to a spank bank, you're in trouble.
But as long as you have access to Netflix to watch Wednesday Addams, then that's all you need. So.
Oh, and we bring it back around.
That's right. And I will stand by my assertion that you're allowed to call any adult sexy. But
have you ever made an assertion that you don't stand by?
it's pretty damn rare, And this
It
show
is.
has been testing that theory because
You
I've
stick
been
with your
accused.
thoughts.
Well, I've been accused so far of being a child molester, being homophobic, and I will stand by my assertions because it's easy because I don't say things that I don't mean, and I know where I'm coming from. So even if you want to twist the words, I can defend it. I'll defend my Wednesday Addams thing. I'll defend my Chick-fil-A thing because it's not what I meant. So
Have you ever said something in your life, though, that you thought at that moment and don't think so anymore? Have you evolved as a human, or have you always been perfect? That's a question.
That's a great question. I think if we went back and listened to some of those shows from 20 years ago, I'd probably cringe at some of the tangents I went on. But again, at the time, I was sincere in that belief. Much like Metallica, there's no reason you can't evolve over time. So, yeah, the things in society have changed and evolved. When we were kids, we used to call, kids on the playground fags, you're gay. Like, I've evolved from that. I get that at the time you weren't accusing them of being homosexuals. It's like calling someone retarded. Like, you didn't mean they had Down syndrome. You just meant they were being stupid. If you called someone gay, you just meant, you're a fag, you're being a pussy about it. I get, though, that has become hurtful. And so society has evolved. So I've evolved on the topic. If you played a clip of me in middle school calling someone gay or fag, would I defend it as being a sign of the times? Yes. I heard Matt Damon do that. It didn't go over very well, but he was right.
Maybe you should rethink it. Maybe some things are indefensible. Maybe we just say, I didn't know at that point in my life what I know now, and that's it.
If we were beating up gay kids and calling them fags, then no, I would not defend that. That would be terrible. But it's not what we were doing. It was just a slur. It was an insult. But things have evolved, so I get it. So no, not going to use that word in that kind of way anymore. Right. So yeah, things change, things evolve. My whole women, not being qualified for president because of their periods thing, like, I've evolved a bit on that. I don't think I ever knew what menopause was when I went on that tangent. So,
all right, well, there's Steve taking baby steps to get better in America. Yeah. Tune in next time to see what he has to say. With the vocal
I still didn't take anything back, though. So
you don't take any of it back?
No.
It must be a bitch to be in a relationship with you. Do you apologize?
Well, we've wondered why am I single? Every new woman I'm with is like, wow, you're such an amazing guy. I'm like, give it a few years. Because apparently I wear thin at some point. But no, like I don't just say things for shock value. I mean them. Now, could you evolve over 10, 20, 30 years on a topic? Of course.
But no, let's back up to what you just said. That interests me. Like, you don't say anything that you don't mean ever?
I can't imagine why. I mean, I may be in some fight where I say something that I know is hurtful or insulting, but I said it for that reason.
Yeah.
So I would stand by that.
But you would
have I ever apologized
for it?
Yeah, sure. No, I've apologized to women on many occasions that, okay, I was all wound up. I was just saying that to be hurtful. But again, like, I was saying it to be hurtful, not because I was trying to be sexist, racist, homophobic, whatever the real negative would be that some other jerk may say the exact same words over, I guess. But
yeah.
But even that's pretty few and far between. I tend not to throw the first punch. I do tend to throw the last punch, though. So, I've been in many fights that escalate beyond a point that I'm proud of. But it takes two. So if you're going to apologize for your half of it, I'll apologize for my half of it, and we can all learn to move on. But I can't ever recall being in a one-sided fight where someone was just calm and demure and I'm just going off on them.
That takes control, dude. That takes a lot of control. I applaud you. You're better than me. I mean, I've had moments, obviously, throughout my life where I have said things that I didn't mean, or whether they were just to be hurtful, or if I got off on a tangent and things just felt right, or people were laughing. That's a great one, dude, where I get people laughing and then I may continue to be inappropriate and feed into the laughter, and I have to back up and think, oh, yeah, I apologize. I took that way too far, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. Even in the fights I take too far, I'm still keeping it in my wheelhouse. I may be punching harder than I wanted to, but I would never get a fight with, like edgy and make some Filipino derogatory slang at him. I may call him an asshole or moron or whatever, but
yeah,
I'm not just going to get all racist all of a sudden for the, benefit of an argument, or get all sexist. Sure. I may, I may punch below the belt, but it'll be factually based on the fact that you're overweight or being a bitch or whatever it is. Like, I may poke at something that is there, but yeah, I don't just get racist or whatever else in the midst of a fight for shock value.
All right.
So I don't know. I'm gonna have to ponder this now. Like, what have I evolved on over the years? But I don't know. I've always been sort of a lefty liberal type, so it's hard to think back. I mean, calling people fags in middle school and whatnot. I mean, yeah, that doesn't sit right, and it's hard to justify nowadays. And hearing Matt Damon put his foot in his mouth trying to do it was kind of comical to me. But his point was correct. That back in those days, that was just something you called everyone. It's like the episode of The Office where, Steve Carell says, when I call people retarded, it's just because you're being retarded. I'm not, I'm not trying to be mean. So there is stuff like that, certain words we don't use anymore because we all have evolved. But at the time, I meant you were being an asshole. So I would just call you an asshole now.
All right. Well, you've evolved, dude.
I am trying to get us canceled because we do need the publicity. So feel free to pull clips out of context here. Anybody have at it?
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend using any of those clips.
Yeah, probably not.
Right. Well, there you go. John Mulaney's got a great bit about the fact that he called somebody a midget in a joke he wrote.
Yeah.
And someone was like, that's as bad as calling them the N-word. And he's like, no, it's not, because you're using the word midget. You won't even say what the N-word is. So obviously the N-word is worse than the midget word.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are lines of, but even going back, I've never called somebody the N-word in any sort of derogatory way.
No.
Just to my homies down in Compton. So.
Yeah.
You have? Did you used to call your homeboys that?
No, I've never used that word for anything other than what not to say or what's the example of a terrible word. But again, like there was a time where you would say that word either in some sort of hip-hop context or what a terrible thing. I don't even say the word anymore. Everyone just calls it the N-word, and that's probably where it should rest.
Yeah.
Same with fag, same with retard.
Well, stop saying it, dude. Stop saying it. It hurts when you say it, dude. Stop saying it.
Saying it to make a point that it is okay to move on from things. But those words meant different things back then. They meant jerk or idiot or whatever it was.
Right. Yeah. No.
And I would still call someone a jerk or an idiot. But my vocabulary may have evolved as society has evolved.
All right.
Have I undug myself enough? Because
oh, boys. Well, we'll be back, baby, into episode number 19 or 18, and you never told me why I couldn't talk about that.
17. I said we'd circle back around because of all the pop songs that are written about 17-year-old girls, and I don't see them getting protested, yet I talk about a 20-year-old woman, and somehow I'm a child molester.
Oh, that was
that was my point.
Okay, so soon we'll be 18, and we'll be able to do anything we want.
Right. We
next
can
week.
Use this show come next week. So.
Yeah, what is the calendar? Will we be back before Christmas or after? After Christmas, right?
Not before Christmas, because we're the week of. But
okay.
I'm available if you guys are next week. So
yeah. Brewski?
Yeah, I'll definitely be around on the Monday the 26th. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
We'll coordinate.
That's when we'll reconvene for episode number 18. We'll be barely legal.
Coordinate.
Right. In the meantime, thevocalminority.net. We're on all the social medias. If you'd like to see me put my foot in my mouth on a loop, you can find all of those examples on our various platforms. So.
Yes.
Go
and if
enjoy.
you would like to see a video of Brewski boiling over like Frankenstein, I'm sure it'll happen, dude. Brewski got wound up today, dude.
Yeah.
I think they injected you with the fever.
You can't fuck with metal, man.
No,
I don't know if you've ever been in the mosh pit there, but there's no leeway. So.
No.
Yeah.
I appreciate the passion, and I appreciate our ability to have good debates and all that stuff. So, no harm, no foul.
Well, I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything. I just have certain ideas.
Sure.
And I'm a little inflexible. I understand that. So.
I'm never trying to be a jerk, but it comes quite naturally, I'm told. So I just, I would encourage someone to go with it. What are you going to do, right?
Yeah, but like I've always said, it's always better for people to think you're a jerk than not think anything of you at all and not have any opinion.
That is exactly correct. So
yeah,
that's why I'm not afraid to stir the pot. So
good
times.
Go. We're having a good time.
Good boys.
That's right.
Have a good time.
All right. Merry Christmas, et cetera, et cetera. Go to the website, go to social media. Everyone here is a champion, right?
Happy Hanukkah, dude.
Peace and peace.
Champion.